Okay, good morning or good afternoon for everyone in Indonesia, and also good morning for everyone who watch us live from Europe, perhaps. Welcome to European Higher Education Fair 2021 Institution Talk Show. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Mona Taufik Armoli. I am your moderator for this session. So this is the session for the Institution Talk Show, so where we can ask a lot of questions regarding the topic that we are going to have for this session. For now, we are going to have focus on a research university in the Netherlands. Of course, for those, or especially for everyone who wants to have the conversation, you can ask the questions through the YouTube channel. You can chat or you can just type the questions on the chat box, okay? And then some of the questions we are going to be delivered by our team, okay? And then I'm going to, to read the questions live to all the speakers as well. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce all the speakers. They are here from the Netherlands. The first one I have from Tilburg University. So we have Josian Johnson as International External Account Manager. And then the other one, I do have University of Groningen. We have John Valby as a Marketing Direct Coordinator. And the last one from Vrije University of Amsterdam, we have Esa Bijang. Apologize if I mentioned your name not correctly, but hello everyone. Good morning to you all.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good, thanks.
Good. Excited?
Okay, I know. This is really a good session that we have for this session because I'm going to have a conversation regarding focus on a research university. I know some of the participants who are here on our YouTube, or maybe they are still looking for which university that they are going to pick or to choose, because in the Netherlands they have like two types, University of Research and also University of Applied Sciences. But for now, we are focusing on a research university. I do have a lot of questions for now. Okay, let's start with this conversation. For the first questions, why study in a research university instead of applied sciences? I think I'm going to Josian first. You would like to answer this question?
Yeah, of course, good question. I don't think that's up to us to answer, to be honest, because both types of universities are good. So universities of applied sciences offer more professional practice education, and some study programs you can only study at a university of applied sciences, such as physiotherapy, how to become a primary teacher, nursing. So in case you're interested in that field of study, then you would definitely need to go to University of Applied Sciences. Some study programs are only offered at a research university. We offer more academic higher education. So the universities present here all offer academic education, which is the highest achievable education in the Netherlands. So that would be a reason, in case you want to study the highest achievable education in the Netherlands, you would opt for a research university. And some study programs you can only study at our type of university, such as philosophy, biochemistry. So I think, yeah, I don't think we have to say why research universities are better than universities of applied sciences. Decide for yourself which type of university best fits you. That would be my advice, but maybe Tessa or the University of Groningen wants to add something.
John, over to you. Do you want to add something from the questions that I deliver?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that would be exactly what I would have said. So in many cases, depending on what you yourself want to study, your university, well, which type of university you go to will kind of become obvious because there's certain things that you can only study at an applied sciences university, or that you can only study at a research university. So that would be the first thing I would say. Secondly, there's a difference in the way that teaching and learning is structured. So a research university might be what you would traditionally think of as a university, and then an applied sciences university is a bit more professionally focused, a bit more practical perhaps. You do study theory, but it's a bit more wherever the theory becomes relevant to the profession that you're learning. Whereas with a research university, you're really starting from the foundations of the subject area that you're studying, and you learn all of the theory, and you build on that, and you can of course then specialize later on. You can become more specific, and then of course you can go to do a PhD, which is not possible at a applied sciences university, if that's what you want to do.
Okay, thank you, John. Over to you, Tessa. What do you think about these questions?
No, I totally agree with the previous two. I think you should really find a program that suits you, and whether that's at a University of Applied Science or at a research university, at both you will receive excellent education here in the Netherlands. But yeah, it really depends on what you're interested in, and of course the level that you're at. If you're not directly admissible to a research university, but you are admissible to University of Applied Science, then go there. You always have the option when you completed your first year to again apply at a research university. So I think both are great options, and it's really a personal choice.
Exactly. Okay. So this is really great advice, especially for students, for Indonesian, especially if they want to still confused, like which one should I get? Is it the University of Applied Sciences or University of Research? This is such a really good insight from three of our speakers for today. So again, we invite to all the participants, if you would like to have like another deep questions about this, kindly type on your chat through the YouTube channel, and then we can answer the questions, because we do have like a really short session for today. But don't worry, I still have a lot of questions about this, because I'm so curious regarding about focus on the research university. Again, question for the three of you. Could you mention any of your majors that are well known for its competitiveness? This is really, really interesting questions. Start from John. Over to you, John.
Yeah, sure. So the one thing about Groningen is that we're one of the more broad research universities. So we actually don't have a particular specialization. Many other Dutch universities are focused on one or two main areas of academia. And the University of Groningen, we have 11 faculties. So we cover the sciences, social sciences like business and law, medicine, but also the arts and humanities as well. And we don't really have quite a lot of the different faculties are quite popular. And I think we also have the most number of English taught courses in the Netherlands. So there's quite a lot of different things to choose from. But we do have, for example, the Science and Engineering faculty is very well known and prestigious. We have in 2016, one of our professors won the Nobel Prize for chemistry. So that's a pretty good faculty to study in. But then also you have very popular programs. For example, psychology is very popular. Also, we have international business, which is very popular. So it's quite broad, really, at our university, which is maybe a bit different from some of the other Dutch universities.
Great. How about from Vrije Universiteit of Amsterdam, Tessa?
Well, maybe a bit the same as Groningen. We're we have a very diverse offering in programs. So we have 9 faculties. And for when you look at competitiveness, we have selective programs, we like to call them. A couple of bachelor programs that are selective. And also a number of bachelor programs that have a limited number of students. So that's also psychology and also biomedical sciences. So those are really popular, so popular that we had to limit the number of students, both Dutch and international. We make there's no difference in that. And when you look at our master's programs, our research masters are the most competitive. So research masters are 2-year programs. And they also, if you want to do a PhD, then we advise you to do a research master, and those programs are quite competitive.
Correct. So before I move to Josian, you mentioned, Tessa, regarding the limitation of the study program of is it biomedical, is that correct?
Yes, biomedical sciences.
Yes. So
and psychology.
Yes, and psychology. So that means they are on the numerus fixus study program, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so just for the information for all the audience who are here, what is numerus fixus? So that's a deadline where the university set up the quota or the limitation of students who wants to apply to the study program, and the deadline is 15th of January. So please make sure do not be late than that date. Yeah. Thank you, Tessa. Over to you, Josian.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with Tessa and John. Our psychology program is very, also numerus fixus program, so very selective. Tilburg University is not a traditional broad university. We focus on the social sciences in the broadest sense, so mainly business, economics, law, and psychology. Those are our main domains, but we also focus on data science and artificial intelligence. Yeah, our bachelor's program in psychology is the only numerus fixus program that we have at the university. So I think that one is very competitive. Our Tilburg School of Economics and Management is very renowned internationally. We have a lot of collaborations with major international companies such as ASML and Tesla. And for example, alumni of our bachelors in economics transition to Yale and LSE Business School. So I think those programs are not competitive in the sense that you cannot get in. There's not a fixed number of places, but you need to meet strict admission requirements in order to get in. And I agree with Tessa. I think for most of the research universities, research masters that prepare you for an academic career are competitive. So you need to have a certain grade point average, recommendation letters, your thesis needs to be at a certain level. So in case you're interested in obtaining a PhD later on and maybe even becoming a professor at a university, then a research master's would be a good option for you. But you need to already meet some higher standards in order to get into the research master's.
Okay, there you go. So again, Josian and also Jen, also Tessa, you mentioned about the requirements. So please make sure again to all of you who wants to study in Vrije Universiteit Tilburg, University of Groningen, or any university in the Netherlands, please make sure to check the website, especially the requirements, because some of the study program, they do have additional requirements that need to be fulfilled. So just don't miss that, and then the admission team is going to be like us the requirements. Regarding the requirements, I do believe that we as the applicants, we need to submit motivation statement and also recommendation letter. Okay, so those two types of letter that we have to provide regarding admission. For Josian, what do you think? Because I do have a lot of questions from Indonesian students, like which part that makes the motivation statement will be perfect. So if you have an explanation for that, Josian.
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. I had that question myself as well when I was applying to universities. That's a difficult question because, as you said correctly, every university and even every study program has different admission requirements, but also different application documents they ask for. So, for example, within our university, Tilburg University, some programs ask for a very strict format in a motivation letter. So you really need to check, okay, what questions do I need to address in my motivation letter? Other programs are a little bit more flexible and they don't give you any guidelines. So it's up to you to decide, okay, what do I want to communicate to the admissions committee? In general, of course, why do you want to study a certain topic? Let's stick with the example psychology. Psychology is a very broad field of study. Why do you want to study psychology, and why in the Netherlands and not in Indonesia or in any other country in the world? Why did you decide to apply to a specific university in the Netherlands? So for example, why did you decide to apply to Tilburg and not to, let's say, Utrecht University? And what makes you a good candidate? Why should we choose you out of all those other students that every year apply to psychology? Those are, I think, your motivation, your career aspirations, and why you made the decision to apply to a specific university are, I think, the main things that you need to include. But then again, always check the program website to see if you have everything covered that they ask for.
Yeah. Okay, Tessa, do you want to add something with the motivation statement or motivation letter that you ask a lot of Indonesian students?
Yes, so just for applying in general, we really recommend students to read the website properly. As Josine said, you know, prepare yourself, really take a look at what is asked. You can find it on the program pages. You can find it on our how to apply page. It's really important that you know what we're asking for, because you can find a lot of information on our website. So really prepare yourself and start in time, also super important. And when you mention in your letter, when you make a statement, also give examples, like give examples of things that you've done in the past that support that statement, so that we know that you're not just saying things, but you know, that you can show what you've already done in the past, or so that is what I would like to add. And if you have any questions about a specific program, you can always contact us. We can give you tips. And also today you can come to our booth and just ask a bit more specific questions.
For sure. Before I go to John, of course, prove it, right, Tessa? Yeah, what you've done, just prove it on the motivation letter or motivation statement, because that's how we as an applicant communicate to the admission team, and then to show it that this is me and then I want to be there. Okay, cool. Thank you, Tessa. And then over to you, John. What do you think regarding about the motivation statement or motivation letter for the admission team?
Yeah, I would agree with what everybody else has said, of course. The one thing I would say is that there's a bit of a difference with many Dutch universities, or at least with our university compared to universities in other countries. So if you're applying for example, to an American university, the personal statement and all of the extra stuff aside from your academic qualifications are really, really important. They could actually, your personal statement could make a difference between getting in or not getting in. For most Dutch non-selective programs, what we're actually looking for, at least at our university, is mainly your academic qualifications. So it is really important to do a good personal statement, but ultimately it won't make the difference in many cases between getting in and not getting in. It's part of the process that you have to do, and of course it's great to follow the advice of Josine and Tessa with you know, the kind of stuff that you should include. But yeah, at least for our university, when you're applying for a non-academic background, so we're looking at your high school qualifications or your bachelor degree, and we go through that in quite a lot of detail. So spending a longer time on your personal statement and making your application a month or two later is actually often has a negative impact, because then we haven't received your academic background early enough, and we have to go through that in quite a lot of detail. So we often email students back and we ask them for further detail of what they've studied in their bachelor. So it's really important, I would say. The thing that actually makes a difference in whether you get in or not get in is not if you spend a little extra time on your personal statement, but if you make your application earlier so that the university can already start going through your academic background. And if they need to, they can get back to you. And
Okay. Thank you so much, John. And also for, again, we are still inviting for everyone who would like to ask the questions. Please type on YouTube, because I think I do have some of the question on my screen, and I'm going to deliver a little bit soon, because I still have one more question in my hand regarding about the language, because I believe all these universities, you guys, you have a lot of like English taught study program, okay? Because in the Netherlands, we do have a lot of like more than 2,100 study program English taught. How is the possibility of students learning Dutch language while studying in the Netherlands? This is really important as well, because when I was in the Netherlands, I feel like I just know a little bit about that. So for opening the conversation, I know I have to learn more and more and more. But as a student, let's go to the Netherlands, and then how is the possibility of students learning Dutch language while studying in the Netherlands? If you would like to answer these questions, Josiane.
Yeah, well, first of all, you don't need to learn Dutch in order to live and study in the Netherlands. As you said correctly, all Dutch universities, research universities, offer English taught programs, more than 2,100. So no matter what you want to study in English, you will find a study program in the Netherlands in English. At our university, we give all international students electronic language vouchers, which they can use to do 2 language courses for free at our language center. Having said that, you don't need to use it for learning Dutch. We offer 10 different languages that students can choose from. So some students already know that they want to go on exchange in the 3rd year of their bachelor's program, and they want to go to China, and therefore they want to learn a little bit of Mandarin, for example, or they want to go to Russia or France, etc. However, a lot of students that want to stay in the Netherlands after graduation, they decide to use the electronic language vouchers for a social Dutch course, but you don't need it. Everybody speaks English. You can easily get by with just learning the language. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. John, how about you?
Yeah. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not actually Dutch myself. I'm from the UK.
Yeah.
And many students who live in the Netherlands and they don't come from the Netherlands spend their time here and don't learn Dutch. They study in English, and they kind of get by with English, and that's fine. The one thing I would say is that many universities offer the opportunity to study Dutch while you're doing your bachelor or your master. And I actually think if you intend, or if you're interested in living in the Netherlands more longer term after you graduate, then I would recommend using that opportunity. While you're studying, you can learn a language on the side, because after you've graduated, it can be, and you're working, it can be a bit more difficult to pick up the language. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Okay, over to you, Tessa.
Yeah, not a lot to add, actually. Yeah, all of our programs are also taught in English, so learning Dutch is not required, but we do offer a Dutch learning center at our university with courses specially designed for students. We have, like, from the start level up to courses that prepare students for like a state exam. So we offer, we offer a variety of Dutch courses for students that are interested.
That's so cool. Okay, so for Indonesian students, you don't have to worry about learning Dutch as well. But again, there is a lot of opportunities to be done in the Netherlands to learn Dutch. But also the most important thing, you have to prove the ability of, to speak in English, and also through the IELTS and also to the TOEFL IBT. Okay, so now it's time for the Q&A. I'm here reading some of the questions, but some of the questions, they're really, really specific. Okay, the first questions, I think, John, if you're still there, if you could answer this. I do have questions from Cruiser Trooper. Did University of Groningen accept students from a Bachelor of Applied Sciences? Because I'm keen to apply in human movement science. So his education background is the Bachelor of Applied Science in Physiotherapy.
Yeah, so if you're coming from an applied sciences university and you want to do a master's at a research university, then you actually would need to have, or you need to do a pre-master in order to make up for the difference in the education. There's kind of a gap, if you like. So it really depends on whether the university or the masters that you want to do, whether there is a pre-master attached to it or not. Many universities will have a pre-master for certain programs, but not for all of them. So for example, for human movement sciences, we don't have a pre-master. So that would mean that it wouldn't be possible to do that master program with us with an applied sciences bachelor, unfortunately. In some cases, however, that's different. So for example, in our economics and business faculty, they have quite a lot of pre-master programs that you can do. So then it would be possible to do a master in business perhaps, but yeah, not in all faculties. So that's something that you can check out by looking on our website. You can find out that kind of thing, whether or not it would be possible. Also, of course, if you have a specific question like that, then you can always get in touch with the university directly and we can let you know.
Cool. Thank you, John. And also for Fraser, if you need more information, again, you can visit the virtual booth of University of Groningen throughout the event. Okay, next question for the three of you from Pedro. Good day, everyone. Could you guys give us some insight about the application fees and the mechanism of the application? Okay, I'm going to start with Tessa.
Okay, so this was about the application, right?
Yes, correct. The application fee, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really general question, and we offer a lot of programs, so it's a bit difficult really to say. But so if he really has program specific questions, come to the booth, then we can look it up for you. But for the application, yeah, step one, start in time. You go always, in the Netherlands, you always go through StudyLink. That's our national portal. All students use it, both national and international, both bachelor and master students. So you always start at StudyLink. This is the Dutch national portal for all applications. Once you've gone through StudyLink, you receive login details, usually for a university portal, and there you upload all the required documents that a university asks. And once you've done all that, your application is complete, and then the university will inform you about the decision on admission. Sometimes we need additional documents, then we ask you by email. Of course, there's differences between the universities, between the programs. So if you have really any specific questions, just come to the booth and ask us.
Okay, thank you, Tessa. Is there any application fee from the Thai University to apply?
Yes, so we charge an application fee of €100, but you can apply to multiple programs, and the fee is also valid for 2 years. So if you apply this year, but you have to defer your application, for instance, the fee will also be valid the year after.
Okay, thank you so much, Tessa, for the answer. Over to you, Justine, about the questions the same regarding about the application fee and then how to apply to Tilburg University.
Yeah, I think that Tess already explained it very well. There are always two systems that you need to register in StudyLink for all the universities. And once you selected a specific university in StudyLink, you receive your own personal login details to that specific university. So for each university that you register in StudyLink, you receive a separate account on their university portal. And at least in our university, but I think that's the case for most universities as well, please correct me if I'm wrong, you need to submit a new application in the university's portal for every program that you're interested in. So it's not that like in UCAS, you apply with one package to 5 different study programs. That's not the case, because each of our universities and each of our study programs asks for different application documents and different admission requirements. Sometimes even per program, you have to submit a separate application. We do not have an application fee yet. I know that they're in the process of maybe implementing it. So in case you're interested in applying to our university, do it now, because now it's still free of charge, but that might happen, might change in the future.
Cool. Okay, so there you go. How about the University of Groningen? John, over to you.
Yeah, so the process works exactly the same way at our university. So StudyLink part 1, and then part 2 of the application would be our own application portal, where you upload all of your documents and so on. In terms of application fees, there's an application fee for doing a master's in the Faculty of Science and Engineering. I think it's €75. but you get that back if you get a place. So yeah, but it's obviously not helpful if you don't get a place, but yeah, that's the application fee. For all of the others, there is no application fee. In terms of the process, I would just reiterate what I was mentioning earlier, which is that certainly for our university, the application deadline for many of our non-selective programs is the 1st of May, which is a little bit deceptive, especially for students coming from outside of the EU. The process is much, much longer, the whole application process. So for students who apply shortly before that deadline, it's often impossible for them to actually arrive before the 1st of September because of all of the other stuff that needs to be done. Also at that time of year, our admissions office is very kind of overloaded. And so the waiting times are much, much longer. So in terms of how to apply, I would certainly recommend to all students coming from Indonesia that they apply at least before the end of January. That's a very unofficial deadline, but I would take it as a very kind of semi-serious deadline, because if you apply after that, there's a lot of work involved after the application itself. And so that would be my kind of main warning, if you like. Yeah. Yeah,
well, thank you for the friendly reminder, because again, do not put it like a really last minute deadline, because again, that's not ideal. This is the perfect timing if you would like to have the application, because again, you can ask a lot of questions through the virtual booth throughout the event, and especially because we have the representative like really exactly from the Netherlands, so you can ask more questions regarding about the application as well, because all the university in the Netherlands, they open the application every October. So you can fill the study link for the first thing first, and then the deadline, we know that it's still long, like next year between April or May, but again, do not put on very last minute. Okay, next questions. We have question from Eric. So Eric is going to ask regarding about the PhD. So he has a plan to continue his PhD in the Netherlands. So the questions for the three of you, can you give him some insight about the research standard and also the atmosphere, like supervisor support, and also how to communicate with them? I think I'm going to start with Justine. Over to you, Justine.
Yeah, very good question, and nice to hear that he's interested in a PhD position. In the Netherlands, you are considered an employee of the university in general. So that's, I think, already a main difference from other countries. That also means that you often need to apply for a specific PhD vacancy. And PhD positions can be found on a university's vacancy website, but also on academictransfer.nl on top of my head. So per PhD position, there are specific requirements that you need to meet. Of course, for example, if you're interested in a PhD in physics, then you need to have a bachelor's and probably also a master's in physics. If you have nursing or economics, you will probably do not get the PhD position. You need recommendation letters, etc. You can have standard PhD positions within a university, but in case you can bring your own funding, so maybe from a government or external company, then it might be easier for you to find a PhD position in the Netherlands that is not that already set in stone on a vacancy, in a vacancy. Normally, it's a combination between conducting research and teaching. Because you're an employee of the university, you're also expected to teach a certain number of hours per week. And this really depends on the PhD position. It's 4 years and you get a salary, unless you bring your own funding and it becomes an external PhD. That's my insight.
Thank you, Justine. Over to you, Tessa, regarding about a PhD at the university.
Yes, no, I think Justine said it very well. In the Netherlands in general, if you're a PhD candidate, you're an employee of the university, you also teach. So it's quite competitive. If you bring your own funding, then there are a bit more opportunities. We have a dedicated PhD officer at the international office. So if anyone is interested, come by our booth and we will give you the contact details. So you can get in touch with our PhD officer, and she can guide you through the entire process and give you a lot of information.
There you go, Eric. Come to the virtual booth of Vrije University of Amsterdam. John, Do you have any insight about this?
Yeah, I can't really add much to what my colleagues have already said. Only to say that at our university, because we have 11 faculties, so there's a lot of different shapes and sizes of faculties, and all of the faculties are quite autonomous, so they do things relatively differently from one another. So you know, if you're looking for a PhD in economics and business, then it will work in one particular way in terms of how you get in touch with a potential supervisor. And then if you're looking at another faculty, it will be completely different. So it's difficult from my perspective to give more specific advice about, you know, how exactly to approach the university. I'd encourage
Okay. Hello, Eric. Sorry, hello, John.
our university attends the Academic Transfer PhD Fair in Indonesia. I think it's been online this year and last year, unsurprisingly, but under normal circumstances, we send a group of professors to Indonesia to meet potential PhD students. So I'd really encourage anybody wanting to do a PhD with us to attend that fair. We have a pre-doctoral training program happening in Jakarta. So I think that's like a couple of weeks, which allows all incoming new PhD students from Indonesia to do like a 2-week course to help them prepare themselves for doing a PhD in the Netherlands. So that's another really good thing. I think that's the only country in the world where we have that. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, John. Yes, just in addition to what John said regarding about the event that we had last month, PhD recruitment, yes, some of the supervisor or professor from University of Groningen come by virtually to interview the selected candidate regarding with the past proposal as well. Okay, so we do have one more last question from our participant through the YouTube. So this is the questions. Is going to be answered by John, okay, because it's really specific. This is Diki. Hello, I'm Diki from Indonesia. Can you explain about the Eric Blooming Fund Scholarship at the University of Groningen for Master in Chemical Engineering?
Which scholarship was it? Sorry, I didn't get it.
Eric Blooming. Eric Blooming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So by and large, actually, at our university, we don't have a very large selection of scholarships. And any scholarships that students do get are relatively a small contribution towards the overall costs, I would say. The only exception is the Eric Blooming Fonds, which is like a full scholarship. And actually, when you go to our scholarship search tool, it pretty much shows that as to anybody who searches in the search tool. So it's eligible for, anybody is eligible for it, but there's only a small number awarded each year. So the chances of getting the full scholarship are very low, 1 in 10,000 or something. So yeah, it's not a scholarship you can apply for. You are selected from the when you make your application to study. So yeah, the chances of getting it are quite low. So I would encourage anyone who needs a scholarship to yeah, look at other scholarships perhaps, or looking at other means of funding yourself, because yeah, it's quite an yeah, a difficult scholarship to get, if you like.
Well, thank you, John. Okay, hopefully Digis can get all the answer from John. So So I think for the Q&A, it's done for now. Hopefully all the participants or the audience can ask more questions through their virtual booth. But for now, I'm going to give you the floor to Josian and also to John and also to Tessa regarding with the closing statement, because our session is about to end. Okay, so I'm going to give like each of you like 3 minutes, okay, each to have closing statement. So start from Tessa. Over to you, Tessa.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming. First of all, I think I've already mentioned quite a bit, but yeah, our university, Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam, we have 9 faculties. We have over 170 English taught programs. So we have a lot on offer. Probably you will find something that interests you. I'm an international student advisor, and I have 20 colleagues who do the same job, and we are there to guide you through the entire process. So you don't have to feel you're in it alone. We're there to help you. You can always get in touch with us with any questions that you have. This is during the application process, but also when you come to VU, we have a really wide offering of supportive services, counseling, but also career services. So if you're already thinking beyond your study program, we're there for you as well. One thing I would also like to mention is that diversity is really important at Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam. There are over 150 nationalities on our campus. This is reflected in our international student body, but also our Dutch students are really diverse, super important to us. So we welcome students from all kinds of backgrounds. We incorporate this in our teaching. We have the mixed classroom principle that really builds upon those differences. And we also know that coming to university and coming to, especially for you going abroad, it's not just about receiving an excellent education. It's also about you becoming the best self, your best self. So we offer beyond study programs, we offer a lot of things, a lot of student associations, sport associations. We also have an Indonesian student association. If you have any questions, you can come to our booth today, or you can just send an email to international@vu.nl. Then one of my colleagues or me myself will answer you, because we're here to help. We're always happy to help. So please reach out to us with any questions that you have, because yeah, we like to help. So just get in touch.
Thank you so much, Tessa. Over to you, Josian, Tilburg University.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna, is it possible to share my screen? Not sure if it's possible. Oh, because I get host disabled participant screen sharing. So I'm not sure if it's possible, because I would just wanted to show one slide to give people an idea of our university.
It's possible. It's already done.
Great. Thank you so much. I hope everybody can see this. How can I do this? Yeah, okay. So hi, everyone. Again, I think we already are in the Zoom meeting for 45 minutes. I'm representing Tilburg University. Tilburg University is a research university located in the south of the Netherlands, as you can see on the map. We're located in the so-called Brainport region, which is Europe's top technology region. Companies such as ASML, the chip fabricant, and Philips are located in this region, as well as Tilburg University and Eindhoven University of Technology. And within this region, there is a lot of collaboration in educational projects, but also research projects. And as you can see, in case you want to explore the rest of the Netherlands, or maybe even different European cities, then Tilburg is a very good starting point. Cities like London, Brussels, Berlin are not that far away, normally 3 hours by either car or plane. So in case you want to explore the rest of the Netherlands and the rest of Europe, then Tilburg is a good starting point. Tilburg University is one of the only research universities in the Netherlands that has a green campus. Our campus is very modern. It's beautiful. We have a beautiful green park next to our campus. It's 1 square kilometers, and all the faculty buildings, the sports center, restaurants, library, are all in one place. So in between classes, a lot of our students decide to play soccer outside when the weather is nice, or to study outside with a cup of coffee. Tilburg University is a social sciences university. As I said before, we focus mainly on the social sciences in the broadest sense. So business, economics, psychology, law, but also a little bit of data science and artificial intelligence. And we offer some programs that you can only study at our university, such as global law, in which you learn about the different legal systems in the world, and in which we train you to become a legal consultant for international companies and organizations. We're a middle-sized university. We have around 20,000 students of more than 110 different nationalities. So you will definitely not be the only international student when you decide to study at Tilburg University. But I think that's for all the Dutch universities. We're all very international and inclusive. Our university very much focuses on understanding society. So in all of our study programs, we focus very much on global societal challenges and issues. And no matter if you study finance or psychology or culture studies, you always have this focus on current topics that are happening in society. And we therefore really look for students that are interested in contributing and enhancing society, and that are not afraid to look critical towards society and to come up with creative solutions. According to the Times Higher Education World University Rankings 2022, we score extremely high in the fields of business, economics, psychology, and law. We're currently in the top 50 in these 4 fields, so that's very good. And we offer 14 English taught bachelor's programs and more than 50 English taught master's programs. And in case you would like to know more, please do not hesitate to come to our booth. I've also opened a Zoom room in case you want to talk to a current international student at Tilburg. And after today, you can always send an email to question@tilburguniversity.edu, sign up for a newsletter, or join any of our, unfortunately, again, online open days. We were organizing hybrid open days, but we had to get back to online. So in case you would like to know more, then definitely either come to our booth or contact us later on. And good luck with your study choice.
Thank you so much, Justin. And the last one, over to you, John.
Yep. Hi, everyone. So I'm John, and I'm from the University of Groningen up in the north of the Netherlands. As I mentioned earlier, we're known as a broad-based university, so we don't have a particular specialization. And we also have the widest range of English taught options. So we have more than 180 different programs taught in English across both bachelor and masters. Another thing is that we're a fun student city. We're well known as a student city, very, very popular. More than, I think, 1/4 of the population of the city is a student. So it's a really nice place to study. And yeah, we're about 2 hours north of Amsterdam by train. I would just encourage you to come and visit our booth, where you can see, you can take a look at our different programs. There's lots of videos and other things like that that you can watch. But we also have a colleague today from the art faculty, another one from the economics and business faculty, but also our representative in Indonesia as well. So whatever you want to study, come and speak to us and we can let you know what your options are.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tessa, Justin, and also John. But again, we are encouraging you guys, all the participants and audience, please come to the virtual booth, all the university, because they are still having, you can having a conversation, and also you can have a lot of questions needs to be asked regarding about the application and also the study program that they are offering. So thank you so much to join with us for this session. So I'm going to have you back later on. But again, have a good day to all 3 of you. See you again, and then please stay safe. Good morning, everyone. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, good afternoon, and also good morning to all of my speakers in the Netherlands. First of all, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Taufik as your moderator for this talk show session. This is the second session, but before that, I'm going to introduce you to all the speakers. But before that, please again welcome to the European Higher Education Fair 2021 Institution Talk Show. And for this session, the topic is business school in Northern Europe. Okay, well, as I mentioned, I'm Molly as your moderator, and now I am going to have four speakers. The first one, okay, let me check over here. We have Natalia Boltovskaya. I'm really sorry if I have mispronounced, from Hanken School of Economics as a marketing coordinator. And then we have our lovely Julia Zucchelli from Maastricht School of Management as the recruitment officer. And then we have Marisa Goodhart from Rotterdam Business School as international recruitment officer. And the last one, Kari Sang from Tias School for Business and Society Tilburg University as program advisor. Hello, everyone. How are you this morning?
Very good.
Hi.
Thank you.
It's really, really lovely to see you. We connect from Indonesia and Netherlands. Normally, we do have our in-person in-person fair, but now we connect to the connection. But again, it's really no problem at all because I do love this from Indonesia, from Jakarta here, and also to Netherlands. It's really lovely again to see you all. Okay, because now we are in the topic of business school in Northern Europe. I do have a lot of questions about this because I think I representative of the students in Indonesia as well. The first question that I'm going to ask is regarding about the school network. Okay, the first one, how your business school works with the professional partners. I think I'm going to Carrie for the first one. Hi, Carrie, do you want to answer this question?
Yes. In our school, aside from the master program we provide for international students, we actually provide company-specified program for local companies or international companies which have their branches in the Netherlands. So according to their specific need, maybe to focus on supply chain or to focus on leadership, we offer the specific program for them, and we build up the network through the channel. So it's not only we try to push our students to all those local companies, we also receive their demand and we offer something. So the cooperation is mutual.
Right. Okay. How about Natalie? Do you want to put insight for these questions over to Natalie?
Yes, sure. Like at Hanken works very closely with the business community to make sure that all of our students have a possibility, for example, for internship or for a case study. But also, about 5 years ago, we have launched a talent management program specifically for the international students. It's a Hanken International Talent, and all our students who are accepted to the master's degree, they are already, once they're accepted, the part of this Hanken International Talent. And through that network, they will be able to build their own business community through 2 years of studies at Hanken. So, for example, once they decide to stay in Finland after the studies, they have already quite a good business network, so they know people, where they know how to send resumes and CVs and so on. So we try our best to integrate them into the business community right already on the orientation days, so they get their foot into the business life in Finland and get to know as many companies as possible.
Okay, Marisa, over to you. Do you would like to give some input from this question?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Well, RBS is located in Rotterdam, Europe's largest port city. So we are actually surrounded by companies, whether that's big multinationals or smaller companies or startups. Our bachelor students have a mandatory internship. They have mandatory company projects and assignments that they have to do. Both bachelor and master students have to write their graduation assignment for a company as well. All of our lecturers are from the business field. So after graduation, they have a good international network that they can make use of.
Yeah. Over to you, Julia.
Yeah, hi again. Yes, so we at Master School of Management, we also have, of course, a career service department which supports the students through all their studies. With seminars, workshop, and everything that's needed to support them during also to get them ready for the job market afterwards, because the Dutch market would be, of course, different from all the market our students come from and knows about, since our students come from mostly non-EU countries or anyway country that are very different to the Netherlands. So that's why we have to prepare them. We also organize corporate weeks, networking events, and we collect their CV into a CV book that we publish and hand over to our contacts. Moreover, they always get support from our alumni network, which is indeed very big and international. And they also have through the year company projects, so where they have to actually go to the companies to work with them. And at the end, the MBA students are also able to have a thesis regarding a consultancy project or a business plan for a specific company that they choose.
That is awesome. Okay, I do love that, because we as a business school students, we are not about learning but also practice our academic our academic and also our expertise that we have during study. Okay, the questions, okay, I'm just going to ask all the participants and also the audience from the YouTube channel the questions that you can ask to our speakers. You can type it on the chat box or comment box on the YouTube channel, and then I'm going to read it out on my screen when the Q&A section. So please, for now, you can type it, and then on my colleague over here, they are going to deliver the questions on my screen as well. Okay, next questions. Regarding with the activity outside the class, because as the business school, you're not only, as I said, mentioned before, not only like study in the class, right? You have a lot of things to do outside in the class. So what your institution offer regarding about the outside classes, especially activities? I think I'm going for the first time to Marisa.
Yes, perfect. Well, RBS is part of Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences. So that means that we have a big focus on profession-oriented education. So it's definitely not only sitting in the classroom, it's a lot of projects, it's a lot of company visits, company assignments, so lots of doing. Yeah, and of course, besides studying, Rotterdam is a perfect international city. From origin, it's always been a working class city. So that already means that it attracted people from different parts of the world. So nowadays we have people living and working there from over 180 different nationalities. So it's a very nice international dynamic city. A lot of our students have part-time jobs besides studying, even though they don't speak Dutch. That's a big advantage of being located in Rotterdam, that for a lot of cafes and restaurants, it's not needed to speak Dutch. And that's of course also very valuable for your studies as well, the skills that you improve over there. So yeah, lots of things to do besides studying.
Yeah, and of course with the lovely buildings in Rotterdam as well. Okay, how about Natalie and Finland?
Yeah, so Hanken is located in 2 cities in Finland, so in Helsinki and in Vaasa, and both cities offer like a very diverse like free time and also business time activities. But a part of the classes, for example, there are a lot of company visits organized both by the career services department, both also the course studies, but also Hanken has a very active student communities. There are student unions and also the master's committee for the students. So they do organize their own programs, for example, not only business related, such as like business challenges or something like that, but also free time program, as you know, like maybe not parties directly, but also like get-togethers and picnics when the weather allows and so on. Also, both in Helsinki and in Vaasa, there are also quite many other universities and universities of applied sciences located, and our student union works tightly with all the student unions. So you will, during your studies, you will get to know not only your peers from your course, but also students from other universities. So that also will create opportunities for you to have different diverse time activities a part of the studies.
Cool. Okay, over to you, Julia. You mentioned a bit on the previous question, so you want to add more regarding with this question?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Okay, I'm over to Julia.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Natalie. I'm offering to Julia. Okay.
Yeah.
Julia, yes. Do you want to add more regarding about this question of outside activities of EHEF?
Yeah. So we do not have only extracurricular activities such as group project, company project, but also some social events. So I wanted to mention this, outside the studying. So we have international dinners, we have movie nights. The important for our international students is they gather together, because people coming indeed from all continents, and they need not only the study part, but also the possibility to to build a group and to build an actual class. And this is what I wanted to add. That of course we also have indeed company visits for each modules and guest lecturers, and the practice-oriented approach during the class also. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Julia. Over to you, Carrie, regarding about the outside classes activities. What EHEF can offer?
Yep. Aside from the lecture, we organize some workshops, and it's more relaxed compared to the lecture, but it's still learning. We do a presentation skills workshop. We do interpersonal skills workshop. So students, they have fun while learning. And also we invite guest speaker to give a speech about their experience, maybe the same situation foreign international students study and afterwards working in the Netherlands. Is always fun to learn from others' experience. And outside our campus, Utrecht is a city full of dynamic. So language cafe or maybe movie festival, students, when they find interested, they can always find a group and activity to join.
Yep. Well, this is so interesting. Okay, because I always have a lot of questions from Indonesian students who would like to pursue study in a business school. There is kind of a little bit requirement according to them, a little bit tricky about the GMAT or any kind of test before before apply to the business school. Okay, so is there any kind of like exemption, or the GMAT test is kind of like they have to do it before to apply for the business school? How about Julia? Do you want to give the insight?
Well, the GMAT exam or the GRE are not mandatory to enter Master School of Management. However, they are highly recommended if you are interested to apply for some merit-based scholarships. For example, the academic excellence, there we need a high GMAT score. If you're not planning to apply for the academic excellence, if you're not planning to do the GMAT, then we have our online leveling courses that has to be completed. So they are similar to the GMAT, but indeed only internal. So they are not valid to apply for other schools, but only to align the class before the start of our program.
Right. Okay. How about at Rotterdam Business School, Marisa?
Yeah, so GMAT is no requirement for us. For the bachelor program, it's just your high school diploma and a sufficient English test result that you need. So that would be IELTS 6.0 or TOEFL 80. There will also be a study program check. So that means that we will ask you to complete an online CV, asking you questions like, why do you want to study this program? Where do you see yourself later? And then there will also be an interview with me or my colleague, and we will just go over your motivation and make sure that this program is a good fit for you, because we want you to be happy and your expectations to be met here in Rotterdam. So that's why we do that. And for the masters, there's also an interview, and they need a business-related bachelor degree and also sufficient English test results.
There you go. So kind of like a bit, I would say another beneficial to Rotterdam Business School as well. Interview. Okay, so put yourself at the best. How about ETS, Kelly?
Yep, we accept GMAT score, but it's not a must. If students, they don't want to prepare for the official GMAT, we have our internal capacity test. Students, they pass the online test, it's equal to the GMAT 550. So that's also one good news for the students, because preparing for GMAT is sometimes time consuming and also costly. And we do pay attention on the English level of, because it's an English program, so their ability and proficiency to communicate with English is very important. Aside from checking them on paper, we also invite them for the admission interview, so we can further assess their ability to communicate, if they can communicate fluently with English.
Okay, cool. Over to you, Natalia. How about in Hanken School of Economics? Is there any GMAT kind of requirement?
Yeah, as Hanken offers only master's program for the international students and for the Indonesian students as well. So we do require masters for all the applicants for the master's program to take a GMAT test, and we do require a test result of 550 minimum. So yes, it's a bit different from the colleagues today, but we do require a GMAT score from all applicants outside of European Union.
Yeah, okay, thank you. GMAT score, IELTS score, and any kind of requirements, they need to be done by the applicants. But again, how can a student can improve their chances of the admission? Because I know that the higher number of Indonesian students would like to apply to the business school is quite high, and of course the competition is still there. So what do you think, like how can a student improve their chances of admission? Over to you, Carrie.
First, I think the motivation is really important, because this is a big investment, not only about the money, but also about the time, right? 1 year or 2 years. So we need to really get a very clear picture from the students. They don't need to have a very like some really specific position, but they need to have a direction of why they are doing this. So we can also assess if we as a school can help them to realize their dream.
Yeah. Motivation statement or motivation letter, that would be the perfect document to get their chances. Okay, how about Marisa at Rotterdam Business School?
Yes, for us, motivation is important as well, because it's a very big step to move all the way to Rotterdam. So we want all of our students to think hard about that decision. That's why we have the study program check. It's an online CV, and it's just a really nice and good decision-making tool to make sure that you're making the right decision and that our type of education, because we are University of Applied Sciences, is a good fit. So we are looking for students who like to work in groups, who like to work with real companies, who are proactive, show initiative, can come up with their own ideas. And those students are a good match for RBS, and that applies to both the bachelor and the master students.
Okay, thank you, Marisa. Over to you, Natalia, regarding about the chance of admission. How can a student improve about it?
Yeah, so my answer will not be very original from the colleagues. So we do have a motivational letter and a motivational questionnaire, and it's like not enough to stress it, but our academic personnel, once they do revise all the applications, they do pay very much attention to the motivational questionnaire that students fill in. So the higher motivation is, the more you can also explain to us why you are a good fit for the program, and also why the program is a good fit for you as well and for your professional development, then the chances are for you to be admitted to the program.
Right. Julia, well, especially you, because you always get in touch with students. What do you think about these questions?
Yeah, so we also have, of course, a motivation letter that has to be written. We want the motivation letter to be original, personal, but also very honest, because you can actually figure out if the motivation letter is copied somewhere else. We also have the admission interview to make sure that the program is a good fit for the student, and more that the student is a good fit for the program. So we want to be, of course, this to be a good match. And we are looking for, of course, open-minded people that are eager to go study abroad, to gain this international exposure, and also students that are looking for a small boutique-style school, because we are not a big university, but kind of a small business school. And so if the students indeed is looking for all of that, then it's more easily to be a good fit for us. And we also offer OTS for Indonesia, so that's also indeed a plus. There are certain requirements that has to be matched, and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Just a personal questions before I continue with the next questions. To Marisa, you mentioned regarding online CV, right? So basically, that's the format already prepared by Rotterdam Business School. So the applicants just fill it in.
Yes, exactly. So it's a link to a website which is sent to students after they've registered in StudyLink, and there are specific parts in it. So it's quite easy. It's an easy format. It's not tricky or difficult or anything, but it just forces you to really think about the choice that you're about to make. So it's really a nice decision-making tool.
I see. Okay, and then continue with Julia, that you mentioned about the interview, right? I know that it's kind of like a really standard procedure for the business school to have interview, but do you have any tips and tricks what needs to be prepared for the applicants to prepare for the successful interview?
Yeah, so the interview is about 30-40 minutes, and during this interview we would like to know the student as much as we can. So we ask about their backgrounds, we ask about the motivation to join the master or the MBA program, what their future goals are or career plans are, so how they would use our management program into their career. And we also ask, we want to make sure they did their research, so they are aware of which kind of program they are applying to, if they, if they are sure that this is a good match for them, and so on. So basically, knowing as much as we can about the students.
Okay, thank you, Julia. Okay, I remember one of my friend, he's about to go to study abroad, especially for a business. And then when I asked him regarding like, what is your motivation to do the business school? And then he said, the after the study, because the networking is there, right? So this is really what is it like, one thing that every institution can offer for sure, because the broader the network that you have, of course, the more interest that students or the new students are getting in. So the question is there any working opportunities so after the graduation that your institution can offer? If so, how will university help the alumni to secure the job? I think I'm going to Natalie from Hanken School of Economics.
Yes, thank you. I have already mentioned our talent management program, Hanken International Talent. This program lasts also for the 2 years, as the master studies do, and during that time of studies, we make sure through the diverse career events, such as visits to the companies, case studies within the coursework, and also diverse networking events we organize at Hanken. We make sure that you have a possibility to meet and you get exposed to every potential employer here in Finland. And actually, I would like to mention that Hanken alumni employment rate is really high. 96% of our graduates, they get a job offer before the graduation, and the rest will get the job offer after half a year after graduations, which is a really high numbers. We're really proud of that, and we always help because we know that international, as coming as an international to Finland, it might be a challenge for us to get your foot into the business life and to find the connections, but we do our best to make sure that everybody is getting the same treatment and everybody is getting the work upon the graduation. And of course, once you have graduated and become a successful alumni, we also would like you to come back to Hanken and maybe to give back within the mentorship program. This is also how we make sure, for example, that our current students, they get to know everybody in the business work through our alumni who has been in the working life maybe for some years and can give a meaningful advice to our current students.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's a great how to do it, right? Okay, over to Carrie.
Yep. We have a career office. So starting from day one, our students will be assigned from the career consultant to have a one-on-one career coaching section and also group coaching section to identify their strengths, passion, and a career path. And our service doesn't end when they graduate. Even after they graduate, 1 year, 2 years, we are still following to track if they are on the right direction. And also we try to connect our alumni by invite them come back from time to time for a drink, for some event. So maybe they will just hang out, have a drink with some alumni before they don't know, but a great idea or maybe a job opportunity just come up from there. And aside from this, we have an internal platform for our alumni, so they can search for our alumni by their function, their position, their location. So when they need help, maybe you are in Vietnam or in Indonesia, you want to find someone to help, you can always come to the platform and search for the people who can help you.
Right, what a good network, Carrie. Thank you.
Thanks.
Over to you, Julia.
Yeah, okay. So indeed, as also Carrie mentioned, we also have the career department that follows the students from the beginning to also when they become alumni. We're always there for one-to-one meeting, to assessment, and so on. Moreover, in the Netherlands, overall, we have this 1 year orientation permit. So basically, then non-European students don't have to worry that after they study, they have to go back, but they can stay in the Netherlands for 1 year, looking for a job, finding a job, and so on. So gaining the working visa when they find a job. During their studies, we try to organize these 2 years, has been a bit tough, but usually we organize alumni events where we gather together, not only in the Netherlands, but also abroad. We do something in Indonesia, we did in Russia, we did in Peru, and so on. So we try to indeed connect whenever is possible. During the year, we organize the corporate week where we invite national and international companies to have one-to-one meetings with the students to collect their CV, to present themselves, and so on. By the end of the year, usually we also publish the CV book. That means we collect all CV from our students and hand over to companies where we can, basically. Yeah, that's it. And we are always indeed there also when you are an alumni.
Okay, before I'm moving to Marisa, this is really interesting. So you mentioned, Julia, about CV book. So is that a compilation, all the CV from the students of Mastery of Management, and then give them to the company, such like literally like, okay, this is the compilation of the CV, so you can have a look. Is that like how it works?
Yeah, so we start from the beginning when they start basically the program. We start indeed teaching them how to write a good CV. We of course give feedback. This is something that goes along a couple of months when the CVs are completed, when the students know how to present it, and so on. We collect them. Yeah, we physically collect them and gather them together. Yeah,
that is really good idea, because again, as the institution, you can see how to develop the good CV, right? Because you mentioned that you can start from the beginning when start studying, and then afterwards, this is the what is it, like the good one, the better CV that can you hand it to the company. So thank you for to have that one. Okay, over to you, Marisa, regarding about the what is it about the alumni to secure the job. What does Rochester Business School do?
Yes, so the advantage of being a University of Applied Sciences located in Rotterdam is obviously the connection that we have with the business world. So during the 4 years, our students are having a lot of contact with all of the companies because they have to do a mandatory internship in or outside of the country, and they also have to write a graduation assignment for a company. We also organize a lot of workshops throughout the year. How do I write a CV? How do I conduct myself during a job interview, especially online interviews? So yeah, we provide our students with the tools and the skills that they need to find a job after graduation. What happens a lot is that if students do really well with their internship or at a graduation company, then they get offered a place there after graduation. So it's really nice. We also organize a lot of networking events throughout the year. So we invite companies to come to RBS and to speak one-on-one with students. So that's also really special. And of course, after graduation, students are allowed to stay here for 1 more year. As Julia just mentioned, it's possible to apply for the search here even within 3 years after graduation. So there's a lot of time to do that. And a lot of opportunities within the Netherlands and also within the rest of Europe, because Netherlands is very centrally located within Europe.
Okay, well done. Of course. So my friend told me about the legit reason, the networking from the business school. It's really awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I do have questions from the audience. So again, we are inviting to audience from YouTube channel. Please type your questions from the chat box or the comment box. I do have question, especially for Natalia regarding scholarship. So could you please mention about the scholarship that you have from Hanken School of Economics? Over to you, Natalia.
Yes, sure. So we do offer quite an extensive number of scholarships for the international students. So they may vary from covering fully the tuition fee and some living expenses up to the second year scholarship. So that only for applicable for the second year scholarships, but students. But what we actually offer for Indonesian students as well, and specifically for them, we do have an Hanken is a part of Global Business School Network, and in Indonesia, that I might now mispronounce, but students and alumni from the Universitas Gadjah Mada Faculty of Economics and Business, which is also the part of the Global Business School Network for students and alumni from this specific school in Indonesia. We do offer Hanken Premium Scholarship that would cover fully the tuition fee and also the living expenses of 8,000 euros for 1 year and for the second year as well, of course. So, but as we support all the international students coming to Finland, we do all of our students get some kind of support, depending on your previous academic excellence. So the scholarships are also very tightly linked to how you performed in your previous studies, but we try to offer at least some kind of support to all incoming students.
Okay, thank you so much. And also for the information for the Indonesian students, of course, for TIAS, Rochester Business School and Master School of Management, they do offer scholarship. Orange Tulip Scholarship or OTS is one of them. If you would like to have more information about the financial, so you can check out the website of the university. And then, of course, we invite you guys to come to the virtual booth because you can ask more questions regarding application, scholarship, or any kind. For example, like students live in the Netherlands, especially for the business school, come to the virtual booth throughout the event. Okay. Another question that we have from Shafadina. I think this question is for all of you. Do you offer an extension program from associate degree to bachelor's degree? So I think I'm going to start with Carrie.
I'm not sure if I get this correctly, but we have different modules. So officially our program lasts for 1 year, but because we have 5 different tracks and some students, they really feel they need to do more than 1 more track. So it's possible after 1 year, if they think, okay, other than marketing, I really need to do finance. It's possible to extend their study so they can take 1 more block from our program. And of course, they need to take more time and also there are more fee involved in that, but it's possible according to the student's need.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Over to you, Marisa from Rotterdam Business School.
We have bachelor degree, a pre-master, and a master degree, so not necessarily associate degrees. But yeah, what I think the really nice thing about us is that, you know, even though you want to do a business master program and you don't have a business related background, it's still possible because you could do a free master for 12 months, which gives you the perfect preparation to start with any business master you want to start with. So that is possible.
Okay, how about Maastricht School of Management? Julia, over to you.
Yep. So our master management and MBA programs are quite fixed. So the residential program, they last 1 year, and it's not possible to extend those. What you can do is that you can add after your graduation a specialization, another specialization. So the MBA already has a specialization inside, which is elective, and they can also decide to have another one the year after. Of course, that comes with another fee. But this will, of course, enlarge their knowledge and skills. But indeed, associating the degrees, it's not quite possible.
Okay. How about at Hanken School of Economics? Natalia, over to you.
Yes, thank you. We do have only bachelor's and master's programs, so we do not have, unfortunately, this yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's the last question from Safadina. I think if you guys still have questions, all the participants, all the audience from the YouTube channel, you can come to the virtual booth. Once again, we are inviting you throughout the event. And now it's time to all these institutions to give the closing statement or promote your institution. I think I'm going to come to Carrie. You have 3 minutes to promote and also to give your closing statement. Over to you, Carrie.
Yeah. Okay, so I believe students or visitors who join this section today are planning to expand their business knowledge and also their career. So TS is a top-ranking business school located in the Netherlands, in the city of Utrecht. And when considering doing a master degree in business administration, for those who are also looking forward to put yourself in an international environment where your classmates consist of 20 different nationalities, which means you learn from each other, not only from their expertise, but also from their culture. If you are looking forward to receive personal attention and personal approach from the career consultant throughout the year to get ready to prepare for your personal as well as career development. If you are looking forward to build up a strong network with alumni, with the local companies, with our international community to get ready for your future job searching after graduation. And also for those who are who care about the relation and impact on the society you're in, I think the MSc program and MBA program we offer, which is a 1-year full-time English taught program, offers a great opportunity for international students to explore and to realize their career dreams. So if for students who are interested in knowing more, please contact us for the admission requirements as well as the scholarship possibilities, especially for Indonesian students.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Over to you, Julia, the closing statement and also to promote Maastricht School of Management.
Yeah, so Maastricht School of Management is located in the south of the Netherlands, next to the Belgium border and to the Germany border. It makes easy from here to travel, when it will be possible again, to travel around whole Europe, because we are quite close to all other countries as well. Maastricht is an international city. We are not the only school here. There is also Maastricht University, which is the big, larger university here. And this makes Maastricht a big university city, so kind of quite a live city. And we offer a management program. So we offer the Master in Management program, is 1 year long, which is for recent graduates, people that have not more than 3 years of work experience and coming from a different background. So we don't have any hard requirements in regards to their previous bachelor. Then we offer the MBA program, which is for more experienced professionals that have more than 3 or 5 years of work experience and that they are looking to fast track their career with indeed a management program. We have 3 different MBA formats. So we have the full-time MBA, which is 1 year here on campus for those who want to live the class experience, the student life again. We also have the online MBA for those who are not able to travel, they don't want to quit their job for a year, and they decide to stay in Indonesia or wherever and do the MBA online. They are always welcome to join and blend that option. So if they want to come for some modules here on campus, that's possible to do. Then we have the part-time Executive Mba, which is let's say a part-time that requires the students to travel every 3 months to have lessons here on campus every 3 months. Online and Executive Mba are a bit longer. They are 2.5 years. But also they are indeed part-time. All of them have at the end the MBA degree, so it does not mention if it's done online or part-time or full-time. Inside the MBA program, you also have the specialization phase, which is elective, so you can choose up one from our 6 specializations that we have, which are, for example, finance, accounting, entrepreneurship, digital transformation, and so on. We offer also the career service department to support our students, and we also organize student events here, of course, in the city.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia. Over to you, Marisa from Rotterdam Business School.
Thank you. Yes, so RBS is part of Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences. So just advice that I want to give all of the students that are considering coming to the Netherlands is make sure that you know the difference between research universities and universities of applied sciences, because they're both really good. Of course, I mean, Dutch education ranks in the top 2% of the world, so it's extremely good quality for very reasonable fees. But the approach of the two universities is quite different. So make sure that you choose the one that fits you best. We're located in Rotterdam. Rotterdam is the 2nd biggest city in the Netherlands, but it's really the perfect city for international business because of the port. So a lot of our students benefit from that, especially in their daily life. Rotterdam is such an international city. It's not necessary to speak Dutch because everyone speaks English. A lot of our students have part-time jobs, which is always a very good indicator of how open a city is towards its international students. Because you're going to live here. If you're going to do a bachelor, it's going to be for 4 years. If you're going to do a master, for 1 year. So you really need to choose a city that is open towards international students and where you can actively participate in society, because it's not only about studying, it's also about creating a nice life for yourself. And there's a lot of difference in how open certain countries or how open certain cities are. So that's really important to consider. Of course, our bachelor program is 4 years. We are University of Applied Sciences. The first year in international business is the same for everyone, so you can get a nice foundation. So you can expect subjects like finance and accounting, marketing, logistics, just very basic. And then after the first year, you need to make a decision. So you need to choose one of the specializations to focus on. And then in the second year, there's an international project. Usually we also do an IKEA project, or you go to DHL, depending on the specialization. In a third year, there's a mandatory internship that you can do in or outside of the country. There's a lot of freedom in how you want to design that, because some students are really into the big multinationals like Unilever or KLM or Booking, and other students really like smaller companies or startups, because Rotterdam is a very entrepreneurial city, so also home to many startups. And then the fourth year is for your exchange program. So another opportunity to go abroad. There are over 100 partner universities to choose from, so you could pretty much go anywhere you like. And then the final semester of your fourth year is for your thesis. So your graduation assignment, which will be written for a company. And who knows what happens if you do well at that company. And then for the master program, it's 1 year. It's an MSc title, Master of Science. And so there's no internship in the master program because it's only 1 year, but there is a graduation assignment for a company. So that practical link is there. And of course, all of our lecturers are from the business field. They have broad international networks that you can make use of. So yeah, really the perfect place to study business.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marisa. And the last one, hello, Natalie from Hanken School of Economics. Your closing statement, over to you.
Yes, thank you. So Hanken School of Economics is located in Finland, and we are a triple accredited business school. So we do have EQUIS, Mba, and ASSB accreditations, which only actually 1% of business schools in the world do have. And our master's program is also ranked by Financial Times, which makes it Hanken very attractive place for studies. So if you're looking at for a high quality master's program in business and economics, so Hanken is definitely a place for you. We are a very small business university, so we only accept 120 students approximately each year for master's program, which means that you will get a very personal attention to your specific situation, and you will get the most of the studies both from the business world and also from the professional with the professors as well. We do offer a big amount of scholarships, so if you're worried about the finance, just maybe drop by our booth so I can tell you more about our scholarship programs and scholarship opportunities for you. Within our Hanken International Talent Program, we offer students from coming outside of Finland. We offer a great career opportunities through the diverse events and other activities we do with the career services, so to make sure that you have your own network once you graduate, so you will be able to find a job during the studies. You will be able also to do the case studies and internships as well, so you will get that working experience during your studies already. Finland is a very small country, and Helsinki and Vaasa, where Hanken is located, is also very small cities in terms of like everything. I would say it's much smaller than anything else in the world, I would say. So which means also that it's very easy for you to get to know people, and actually people in Finland are quite very friendly. You may hear like different things that like people are introverts here, they don't want to meet new people, but that's completely untrue. I'm international, also living in Finland, and I found it very easy to meet new people, to get along with and find friends. We do, of course, if you want to stay in Finland in the future, it's a good idea maybe to learn some Finnish, but we got you even here. So during your studies, you will be able to get courses in Finnish and Swedish, which is the second official language in Finland. But in Helsinki and in Vaasa, everybody speaks perfect English, so you will not get lost. Our application round is currently ongoing. So if you have any questions, just drop out by our booth and I will tell you everything about the studies at Hanken and in Finland.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalia. And thank you to all the speakers. This is the end of the session, Business Schools in Northern Europe. But again, don't worry, to all the audience and also participants of European Higher Education Fair, you still have questions, and also you can ask any kind of explanation regarding an application, a scholarship through the virtual booth. So this is end of our session. I'll see you again next time. So stay well and have a lovely weekend. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and also good morning to all my speakers. But before I move to my speakers, I'm going to greet all the audience and also participants of the European Higher Education Fair 2021. Welcome to the session of the Institution Talk Show, because now we are going to have the third session, Various University of Applied Sciences. My name is Muhammad Taufik, or Molly, as your moderator for this session. And I'm going to inform you before we go to deep down to the session. Please, if you would like to have the question, just type on your chat box or your comment box on a YouTube channel, and my colleague will transfer your questions to the screen. And then I'm going to read it out to all my speakers. And then for this session, okay, let me try to introduce the first one. We do have Iona Sabu as International Account Manager from Hotel School The Hague. Hello, hello. And then the other one, we do have Mr. Ewood Koch from IHE Delft Institute for Water Education as a Marketing Officer of IHE Delft. Hello, good morning, Ewood.
Good morning.
There you go. Okay, so this is a really exciting session for three of us. We do still have one speaker actually from Fontys University of Applied Sciences, but the show must go on, and then by the time we have a chat, I hopefully the representative of Fontys can join with us. And I know that in the Netherlands now it's kind of like nearly to what is it, winter, I believe. So get ready with your winter gear. The first question, I think now we have to start this session because this is really exciting moment about all the questions that I have. The first one regarding with the University of Applied Sciences. How is your connection with industry players that would be an advantage for your students? Because I believe from the IHE and also for the Royal School The Hague, you do have like a really specific program that you have, and also we know exactly what it is. So I think comes to Iona first. Do you want to answer this question? What is the connection with your industry players that would be an advantageous for the students? Over to you, Iona.
Of course, thank you. Well, I think I'd like to start with a bit of an explanation of University of Applied Science, and that applies for both of us. Which is that is a combination of academic courses and also practical education, right? In hotel school, we have an 80-20% ratio, so 80% academic, 20 practical. And where industry comes in is that we have 2 internships. So we have 2 internships of 6 months each, one after the first year, one at the end. And that we are working with key industry players in the Netherlands, also everywhere around in terms of hospitality. And besides that aspect, there's also, we have, and our teachers are industry people. Being University of Applied Science, we have a lot of teachers that come from backgrounds that have had jobs, let's say as GMs, or that are doing their own research on the side, hospitality related. They're really integrated in different parts of the industry. So they come back with all that knowledge, and you can really feel it. And we do get that feedback a lot, that it's a different kind of learning environment when the teachers and lecturers are industry people compared to just academics. It's a little bit about how it intertwines in Hotel School The Hague.
Yeah, thank you, Iona. Okay, over to you, Edward. You would like to jump in with this question?
Yes, so for IHE Delft Institute for Water Education, I think we have many links to practice. It's basically, in our programs, we invite guest lecturers from practice, for example. And it's like a pool of 500 plus people, really industry leaders, who are invited to join their experiences in the classes. Furthermore, we cater to so-called early and mid-career professionals. So actually, the students, most students in our classrooms, they bring their own expertise from their businesses, from their professional background, and we invite them to actively share these experiences, and that's highly valued. And thirdly, I would say we're an institute that is involved in many development projects, also in Indonesia. And because of that, we work a lot with partners from both academia, but also government and consultancies. And for example, in Indonesia, we work with ITB in Bandung, ITS, Surabaya. And also we have projects with, for example, the Indonesian Port Corporation and the Ministry of Public Works.
Yeah, okay, exciting. Yes, thank you for the addition of the introduction of University of Applied Sciences, Iona, because I think I miss a bit for that, because this is really excitement session for me. I know that some of the students, some of the participants that watch us on YouTube, they might know that a University of Applied Sciences, they put into the internship program after the study, or as the study program as well. So with the the situation that we are facing at the moment, pandemic, how is the workshop and also the practical student is held in your respective university, Iona?
So there's a few different components. So we have the internships,
Yeah.
but another practical component that we have at hotel school is that in the first year, so in the 40 weeks that are in the curriculum in the first year, 10 of those, we have our students will go through practical education in the outlets that we have on campus. So both campuses in Amsterdam and The Hague, we have 20 hotel rooms, which one of them is inspired by another chain and decorated. And they are open for outside guests. So we have tourists coming in and staying in, and our students run the outlets. They run the reception, they run housekeeping, they run the breakfast. We have the restaurant that also is a fine dining restaurant. So they can be in kitchen, they can be in service. And it's a little bit of touch and go. So they have 10 weeks within the first year when they do 1 week in every outlet. And also have classes in between to put the foundations of what they're learning and so on. And when COVID first hit, so last year, March, it was serious. So we had to close down. So we moved this practical education, which is first year, but also for second year students, they manage the first years for those 10 weeks. We had to move it all online. And it was obviously, it changed the quality of the practicality of it, obviously, because you can't really make croissants online or something else. But now it's back. And ever since, it only stopped in the first wave of March, April, the really early Corona times. And now we did everything in our power to keep it open, and it's going to stay open with all the regulations, the codes, the distancing, and it's never going to go back to being closed. And in terms of internships, obviously it's been, because that's the other practical component, it's been a bit difficult to find, to send students outside of Europe because of the regulations that certain countries have and all the closed borders. But we found so many internships for our students in Holland. We found so many industry projects where they could act as consultants for companies going through COVID. So we found ways to innovate and to adapt and really give students still the practical experience and the knowledge that they need on projects and so on.
Okay, thank you, Iona. But before I move on to Edward, I would like to welcome. Hello, Michael. Good morning from Fontys University of Applied Sciences. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Michelle. Sorry. Okay, let me unmute. There you go. Hello, Michelle. Could you please unmute yourself?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Finally, welcome. How are you?
Welcome, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so we had a conversation regarding about the pandemic situation with the workshop and also with the internship during the pandemic. So do you want to answer this question during the pandemic? How is the workshop and the practical studies is held in Fontys University of Applied Sciences, Michelle?
Well, I changed my background a little bit. Perhaps I should change it back again, because then you see that, 1 second, I'll change it back again.
There you go, the lovely building.
This is our new building. So here you see we spent 23 million on this building. So we're pretty much proud about it. And it actually got, this week, it got the architectural prize for being one of the best buildings built this year. And here you see a little bit of the inside. You see it's very spacey, very roomy. And the big advantage is, I'll go back to the city of Eindhoven, by the way, but the big advantage is that, for instance, at this moment, the government has announced that we have to stick to the 75% max criterion. And it doesn't influence us, because the open innovation labs are constructed in a way that the max that we never reach that max. We have 75 people in open spaces. We have classrooms, so we have a mixture of. I'm very happy with that, because the international students will not be influenced, because everybody's very happy to be back in school again. And everybody, and I think that goes everywhere, whether you're Fontis or you're or in Den Haag or in Delft or whatsoever. That goes for the whole of the Netherlands. Being back in school is basically where we do the interaction with the students. So that's important, I think, for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations for the new building. I can't wait to see in person for sure when the border is open.
Welcome.
And over to you, Edward. If you would like to chime in with the question that I brought. So how is the workshop and the practical studies is held in Iit Delft during the pandemic situation?
Okay, yeah, maybe first I have to clarify something, and that is that Iit Delft is a little bit different from well, basically most universities and universities of applied sciences. We're a so-called Institute for International Education. And so we're not a university, neither a University of Applied Sciences. And basically you can see us as a blend between the two, because we do have a very practical component, but also the research component is really important in our case. For example, we have a PhD program with almost 100 PhD fellows. But having said that, your question is about how Corona is affecting these. Well, yeah, actually, Michel already said it. Right now, it's at our institute pretty much back to normal, but we come from a real difficult situation, and I think that counts for all of us, where students really had to well, stay at home and follow the classes from home, and that was just we had to adapt, all of us, and a lot of more practical components could not continue. So that's yeah, just a real pity. However, I think in the end, well, we all managed to make it meaningful still, but hopefully this particular situation with students working from home mostly will not happen again, because we all agree that these practical components, and for one example I can give is that in our curricula we do a lot of field trips. So we organize a lot of excursions to, for example, wastewater treatment plants, either in the Netherlands or in Europe. We go to water companies where we get presentations about how they manage the company, etc. And this is highly valued, and this active learning, really going out, being in touch with practice, is something that the students really value highly. And luckily now we can do these kind of activities again. Yeah. And one other example is, I would say, the field work. So we have these field trips and excursions, but also we try to go as much as possible outside to nature, for example, do measurements, really work with kind of tools to really measure water, to know what it is all about in practice, and these kind of field works are also really highly appreciated, and we expect to organize those again next year.
Awesome. Well, it's really nice to see that the Netherlands is back to the new normal situation, and that all the students can come to the class, can come to the campus, and also follow the health protocols as well, with the hand sanitizer, with the social distancing and everything. It's really nice to have the, like the in-person of offline education at the moment. Okay, next questions. Regarding with the admission, because some of the students that are here watching us online, especially on YouTube, they are wondering, like, how do you select your applicants to get admitted into your university? Because again, for the general application, of course, we do have to attach our English ability score and then our motivation statement. And most of you know that a lot of students want to getting into the University of Applied Science or university abroad. So Michelle from Fontys University of Applied Science, can you deliver the answer for these questions?
Yeah, if you look at the admission, let me have a check. Admission, you have to have a diploma in higher secondary education. At least you need the IELTS 6.0 level, and there are, depending on the program you'll be doing, there will be some additional requirements, but you can always contact our agents. One of the agents already, one of the representatives of Fontys already joined the meeting. Welcome, Prita. And it's yeah, well, basically that's it. And depending on your diploma, we have a 4-year program, and we have a 3.5-year and a 3-year program. And the 3-year program gives admission to the master at the TUE. So we work very much together, because that's across the street with the Technical University of Eindhoven. And these programs, especially for students who have a VWO-like diploma, so what's similar to VWO in the Netherlands, they can even do the 3-year program, but they have to do special tests for that.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. How about at Iit Delft? Could you please explain to us?
Yeah, actually, similar to Fontys and all universities in the Netherlands, there are the English language requirements, and well, we have also IELTS 6.0, but we prefer 6.5. English basically is really important. So that, and also we noticed that students from Indonesia really have to, well, if you have to get the test results in time for the application, sometimes that is an impediment for the actual application. So English is really important. And in our case, we have an additional criterion, and that is some work experience. In most of our programs, I would say we really would like students to bring experiences to the classroom. And furthermore, apart from the usual, that's the academic transcripts, you need to have a Bachelor of Science in a related academic discipline. In our case, that is mainly civil engineering, biology, the earth sciences, but also increasingly some social sciences, law, and economics for the more water management and governance related programs. But in principle, apart from this Bachelor of Science, you need to have a good, solid motivation statement, and I think that's also important. And that's basically a letter written why you wish to join the program and what kind of future you see for yourself.
Okay, thank you. I would just want to confirm that how many years that applicants needs to have for the work experience.
In our case, it's a minimum of, I'd say, 2 years. I think that's 2 years is required.
Okay, thank you. Okay, back to Iona. Do you have any additional answer to deliver this question?
Yes, I do, because at hotel school we have a special application, admission and selection, actually. So first off, like my colleagues here in the Netherlands said, we do have a standardized within the Netherlands application where it's your grade list. So for us, we need your grade list. You need your CV, a motivation letter, and an English certificate. We accept all of them. So we accept, again, IELTS 6+, the Cambridge ones, C and above, the TOEFL, I think it's 160. Not entirely sure of the TOEFL one, but we accept any of the English certificates. But with us, what is also important in hotel school is that once the candidate, makes their application, submits their documents on our website, after they're all confirmed to be okay, then the students get invited to a selection day. So our selection day is D-Day for us. Basically, it's how we select our students, because our university is very small scale. So we have 150 students starting in August per campus. So 150 Amsterdam, 150 The Hague, and 100 in February, because we have 2 intakes. So that's it. And we get a lot of applications. So that's why we organize selection day. And the students come in and they have to do 3 online tests, a numerical test, a knowledge test, and an English test. The numerical one, it's just basic math, let's say, because we want to know that there's something there. There's a foundation of mathematics to work on, as we have finance courses as well, and economics in the curriculum. And then the knowledge test is based on an article that we send them. And then the English test is just like a double checking of their, like I would say, we really want their English level to be good. So it's a bit of a double checking that it is. And then they have an interview. So they have a 1-hour time slot where they come in either online or obviously for Indonesia it would be online, or there's selection days abroad. There's one in Thailand and one in Singapore that students could join if they want to. And it consists of having 2 selectors and 3 components. So you have a sales pitch where you really got to sell yourself. So we know everything about you. What can you tell us in 2-3 minutes? Why are you the perfect hotel school candidate? And that's always creative. That's always fun. I've seen people come with props and pictures and little puzzles and do cocktails. I had someone do her Tinder profile and hotel school's Tinder profile, and they was like, it's a match. So you really
just bring it out. Okay, just be creative and also out of the box. Okay, that's very awesome. Thank you, Iona. And of course, to all the Indonesian students or who watch us live now, please come to the university website as well to read the very complete addition documents or a kind of addition requirements that you need to fill out. Because again, do not miss it out, because that's like the part of the requirement that you have to submit to the university. Okay, now we are going to have questions from the audience. I think the question is coming. Oh, this is one for Fontes. Okay, for you, Michelle, from Zendi Renan. For Fontes, do you directly accept students with an Indonesian high school diploma?
You mean, that's students coming from similar to high school. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
they are accepted, especially if they are, depending on what they are going to study. They are accepted, and there's also a difference between whether you're non-European or European. We have different fees when we accept them. But though for those students who, especially in ICT and engineering, if they have a good grade for math, then they can even get a scholarship. But we accept these students indeed.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Michelle. And then question for you, Ewood. This is another question from Fahri Husani. I would like to ask to Ewood. Currently, I am in the Bachelor of Chemical Engineering. Is it possible for me to continue my master degree in wastewater treatment technology? If so, is there any special requirements for me that needs to be fulfilled?
Oh, okay. Well, the answer is yes. If you have a bachelor in chemical engineering, then or chemical science, chemics, studying wastewater engineering, focusing on that is perfectly possible. Well, requirements apart from English and preferably some work experience. I'd say if you don't have work experience, you could still try to submit your application, but you have to have a real good, strong motivation, and maybe you can compensate with really good grades. But in principle, I would say that's it. So I would advise you to basically submit your application. Application at IHE is free of charge. So as of, I would, on top of my head, 22nd of November, so pretty soon,
yeah,
you can start applying.
Oh, thank you so much for the answer. And question for you, Iona. This is the question from Ian. Currently, I am studying Master in Tourism and Sport Management in Poland. Is there any possibility for me to do student mobility via Erasmus Mundus to Hogeschool School The Hague? Any opportunities for him, Iona?
If I understand correctly, the question is if you can come on an Erasmus for the masters.
Yes, correct.
Unfortunately, we don't facilitate that at the moment. We have an MBA program in hospitality management, and we've just launched our new masters in hotel leading transformation. And this intake was the first one, so we're still developing that. The Erasmus, the links. So at the moment, unfortunately not.
Okay, and then related to another questions that is there any scholarship offer that Hogeschool School The Hague what does it provide?
There is if they go on their website, in our website, they can look. There is one scholarship that the Tulip, I think it's called, that they can apply for. We don't have that many, unfortunately, but there is one they can apply for.
Okay, cool. But just for the information for the Indonesian students, of course, for the Foundation University of Applied Sciences, you do have the Orange Tulip scholarship open very soon, and then of course you can apply for it. Okay, we're still waiting for the questions from our audience from the YouTube. Don't forget just to type it on your comment or your chat box. Yeah, one of our team is going to transfer the questions to my screen over here, and then I'm going to read to the speakers. And of course, after the session and throughout this event, you can visit all the speakers through the virtual booth, because European Higher Education Fair is still going on until 6 p.m. today. Okay, so I am going to give the floor to three of you, okay, like one each, let's say 4 or 5 minutes, to give the closing statement and also to promote your institution. I think I'm going to with Edward Kopp. The floor is yours. Yes, please promote Iit Delft and also your closing statement.
Okay. Well, I don't have any slides, but I guess I can just tell the story in 5 minutes. So Iit Delft is Institute for Water Education is based in Delft, the Netherlands. And we exist for over 60 years. We're a so-called Institute for International Education. So basically, we were one of the first institutes in the Netherlands that opened specifically for an international audience. So you can pretty much say that having people from all over the world in our building is something we have done for 60 years, and it's in our DNA. So what do we do? Iit Delft is really special because we focus on water, and basically we have a lot of disciplines in our campus in Delft. Normally, a lot of different disciplines. Normally, you would find them at different faculties, even at different universities. But we have disciplines like civil engineering, biology, earth, the earth sciences, but also disciplines like economics, law, and social sciences in our building, and we offer it. And basically those all have a relation to water and water management. So students come to Iit Delft to study water in a different, basically in one program, an MSc program. And what we are doing is students can basically learn something specific in their field of interest related to water, but also they meet with different other students who focus on their discipline. For example, there are students focusing on water engineering, but also students focusing on water governance and management, and students focusing on water and sanitation. And by basically bringing all those students together, they learn from each other and learn about these different disciplines. So as of next year, we offer an MSc program in water and sustainable development. This is a one-year MSc program, and it's new. It replaces all the MSc programs we offered until now, and this program basically is for practicing water professionals from all over the world, and basically students can select a thematic track, and for example, we have a thematic track on water, food and energy, water hazards and climate, water and health, and water resources and ecosystem health. So different aspects of water management. And they can study either of these tracks from a specific disciplinary background. And that can be from an engineering background. It can also be from a governance and management background, or I'd say from a background, for example, digital innovation. So if you're really interested in working on geo-observation, working with citizen science, computer models, all related to water management, that is also a possibility to study one of these tracks and then focusing on that. So basically, that's it. Students can, when they enter the program, basically select their own tracks, select their own modules, and they're helped by a coach that is assigned to them when they're admitted to the program. Program starts in November next year, 1 year duration. And I'd say to everybody who's interested, visit our website, apply, and if you're watching now, just go to our booth and you can chat with me and I can answer the questions you have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Edward. And over to you, Michelle from Fontys University of Applied Sciences. Please give your closing statement and also promote your institution.
Okay, well, what I'll do, I'll 1 second, I'll share my screen so that I can go over the, that I can have some sheets. Okay, by the way, first remark, of course, is that all universities in the Netherlands are good universities. We like the students to be in a place where they're happy and where they can do the study they really want to do. So it's not a competition or whatsoever. So I want to inform you as much as possible. And it's not only why should you study at Fontys University, but also why shouldn't you, and perhaps choose another one or choose it in another place. Well, first of all, Fontys is a University of Applied Science. That means that it's, sorry, this one we skip. That means that it's basically a university that does a lot of practical works. We have internships, we have a lot of practical work, and we start from what we say the authentical task. So basically what we try to do is try to accommodate you with programs in the field of ICT, engineering, business, art, logistics, allied health sciences, and communication. And there are also opportunities to specialize, minors, internships, minors and internships, and there's a big opportunity in our region to work. And basically, we're the Silicon Valley of Europe. So that's and together with the Technical University of Eindhoven, of course. What do we offer? Interactive learning, hybrid learning, social labs, practical approach. Lecturers are experts and coaches. So not only coaching, but also they know what they are coaching. Personal attention, classroom interaction. Some of the groups are not bigger than 24 people, and respectable opinions, open-minded, but that will go for every university, I assume. What's the difference between a University of Applied Science and a research university? Well, basically, it's the combination of theory and practice. It can be 4 years, but what I already said, also 3 years. It's practical assignments, project-based education, internships are mandatory, and it's applying basically existing knowledge and sometimes trying to find the borders of the domain knowledge. Both educational systems result in a bachelor and or in a master degree. So whether you do research or an applied science university, but you can also step over from the one university to the other, what I already mentioned. We work together with the Technical University Eindhoven, but also Tilburg University, and also in the future Maastricht University, because basically the bachelor can also be a hub to another master. And again, important is that you study the thing you like to study, and not that we're not soul searching or whatsoever. We have 3 campuses in Eindhoven, in Tilburg, and in Venlo, all with their own special things. We offer a variety of bachelor, what I already mentioned, economics, logistics, ICT, engineering, communication, arts, and allied. I myself, I'm from ICT. I'm very proud to do the international stream, and we're the biggest in the Netherlands regarding ICT. The course-based division had 500 plus students last September. So we thought that would be a bit less with COVID, but it went very well. Allied health, physiotherapy, medical imaging, master in care and technology. These are the studies you can follow. In arts, you can become a dance bachelor, or a master in architecture, in urbanism, or choreography. There are various opportunities from which you can choose. And perhaps later on, you should contact the representatives in Indonesia if you want to get it more into detail. Economics, marketing, engineering, from automotive to mechatronics, and of course ICT. I can elaborate on this a little bit more, but I won't, given the time. But we have a broad bachelor, so you start with all 5 business, technology, software engineering, infrastructure, and media design, and then the first half year you choose one of them. So you still have an opportunity to change in the first half year without that the study becomes a bit longer. Logistics, that's the same thing. It's a 4-year program. We do all kinds of internships with very, very interesting companies around Eindhoven. Eindhoven is a booming environment. These are some practical matters. What's really important is that because it's booming, I would really, press on the fact that you have to try to do the accommodation via Fontis, because the housing issue, and that's not only in Eindhoven, but everywhere in the Netherlands, but especially in Eindhoven, the housing issue is getting a little bit more difficult. But then again, we can help you the first year. So we're happy to share all these things with you. And if you want to have some more information, we have some representatives who you can call in Indonesia, and they will answer you in Indonesian.
Thank you so much, Michelle. For the last one, going to move to Iona from Hotter School The Hague. Over to you.
Perfect, thank you. I will just quickly share my screen while I'm at it. Might as well. Sorry for the chaos. That is my desktop. So quickly about Hotel School The Hague in 5 minutes. I'll do the pitch. So we are University of Applied Science. That's why I'm here. Today we have 2 campuses, one in Amsterdam, one in The Hague. We offer only one bachelor. We offer a Bachelor of Arts in Hospitality Management. That is the way I like to present it is a business degree. It's a business administration within the context of hospitality. We're the 2nd oldest hotel school in the world after Lausanne. And we're founded in 1929. So we have a lot of alumni. We have a lot of industry people everywhere. And so on. This is, it's not only Fontis that has a new shiny building. We also redid our campus in The Hague recently over the summer, because the last time was in the 80s, so it was really dusty. So we have a nice new building that can facilitate all the students to come in, and obviously connecting spaces for them. And of sustainable materials, but you can find a lot of videos about it on our YouTube page, actually. Moving on to what we actually do. So we are obviously 100% English education. Like I've said before, we're really small scale, having 300 students per campus in a year. We have our lovely combination of theory and practice and research within our curriculum. We are voted the best hotel school in the Netherlands for 10 years now. And we are the number 5 in the world after the hotel schools in Switzerland. And we work hard on keeping that rating up. In terms of how our program looks, because I've said that we have only one bachelor. So the way it looks is that the first year students come in, they stay on campus. So we do offer them accommodation for the first year. That's why the tuition is also a little bit more high for the first year. So they stay on campus, they share a room, they're part of the learning and practical education, creating together in the environment. Then after the first year, we send them off to their first 6 months internship. We have a placement office that can help them choose wherever they want to go, find a hotel, find a country. Do they want to go to Hawaii to be on the beach? Do they want to go to, to Paris to walk around and do their internship there? We have a department that will help facilitate whatever it is. And then after those 6 months, they return to hotel school. Then they need to find an accommodation by themselves. We do help them. But as Michelle said, it is the whole of the Netherlands is a bit of a difficult situation in terms of housing. We do help, but we have internal groups that students can pass on apartment from other students. So we really try on, but it is a bit of a downside of of such great cities in the Netherlands. And then they go on with their curriculum, and then they have a last internship as well in year 4. And that one, they don't need to come back to hotel school after that. What usually happens is that they receive it as a job after, and they get hired on the place. And that's why we have a 96% ratio of students finding a job within 6 months of finishing, because of the last internship that facilitates that. In terms of courses that we teach, people think it's only hospitality, but honestly, we do the whole of business acumen, from finance fundamentals, HR, culture, and marketing, entrepreneurship, and revenue management, data analysis, digital skills. So we really want our students to by the end of the 4-year program, to really be a holistic, just a manager and leader, and be able to go in any industry they want. This is why, funnily enough, 1 out of 3 graduates ends up in hospitality, but 1 out of 3 opens their own business and becomes an entrepreneur, because they have the soft skills and the soft skills and the hard skills to do so. So really, hotel school prepares you for a career anywhere. We have, lastly, we have also a lot of student activities that you can participate: sustainability clubs, investment clubs, TEDx. These are prices. Obviously, the first year is more expensive because you get accommodation, but I can help, later on. You can find them on the website. You can always reach out to me if you need any help. The documents we've discussed before is the same standardized, diploma, motivation, CV, English. And all in all, applications are open until 1st of May. If you want to apply for the start of August 2022 or February 2023. And that is it. I'm out of time. I'm out of breath.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for all the speakers for this session. Thank you for the very insightful information. And also, it's really lovely to see you connect from the Netherlands. So guys, thank you so much once again. And for the audience, please come and see virtually all these institutions through the virtual booth, because European Higher Education Fair, it's still keep going on until at 6 p.m. This afternoon. My name is Molly, and also to all the speakers, thank you once again. And then we join for the last session at 5 p.m. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Molly.
I have to leave.
Okay, good afternoon for everyone. Welcome to Higher Education Fair Indonesia 2021 Institution Talk Show. So this is the very last season for the session of the talk show. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Maulana Taufik, or Molly, as your moderator for this session. For this time, the last session, we are going to talk or having a chat with our speakers regarding focus on research university part 2. So if you guys bear with us since the beginning of the session, yes, we had a chat with some of the university regarding of the research university part 1, and now we are having in part 2. Okay, join us for this session. We have from Leiden University. Hello to Mr. Malik Belen as a manager for international recruiting and international alumni affairs. Hello, Pak Malik.
Halo, apa kabar?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing, Pak?
Fine, and enjoying the rain outside.
I know, right? Never stop. And also connect from the Netherlands. We are going to introduce from Maastricht University, Lian Krol as recruitment counselor. Hello, Lian.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, good afternoon. You are in the Netherlands, correct?
Yes, rainy as well, but
I'm
inside. It's good. It's a good day to be inside.
And also we have Mbak Tantri Maulina as a program consultant from Red Dot University. Hello, Mbak Tantri.
Hello, hello from the Netherlands. I'm a bit luckier. It's not raining, gloomy but not raining. So, hello, Mas Oli.
It's really lovely to see you guys connect with the internet connection, of course, with the virtual European Higher Education Fair. Again, I just want to invite to all the audience and participants, if you would like to have the questions, you can type on the comment box or the chat, on the comment box or the chat box on the YouTube channel. Some of the colleagues of the institution, they're going to reply as soon as possible, but some of the question, one of my colleagues will transfer to my screen over here, and then I'm going to read the question to the speakers. Okay, for now, we do have the topic focus on a research university. Some of the audience might know regarding research university. This is the university that more depth into the academic, okay, to the knowledge of the study program. We are going to start the first questions to the three of the speakers. I think I'm going to start with Pak Marik. Pak Marik, why study in research university instead of applied sciences? Over to you, Pak Marik.
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, I want to make it clear that sometimes people think that studying at a University of Applied Science is lesser than at a research university, but it's not lesser, it's just a different approach. So you don't have to doubt the quality of an applied science university in the Netherlands, but it's a different approach in terms of education. And I think, well, it's very black and white, but at an applied university, you learn to become a professional. So you learn the skills to enter the industry, to become a journalist or a nurse or a legal assistant, a marketeer, etc. And the difference with the research university is that you learn the skills and competence to do research and to also discover new things that could move the discipline ahead. And that's also why that you see there's a difference in terms of degrees. At the Applied Science University, the focus will be on a bachelor study and sometimes also with a master. But at the university, you can continue with a PhD, which is a full-fledged research position. Sometimes in some disciplines, it gets a bit blurred because you also, of course, have researchers at applied universities. And some people say if you study law, that's also applied. But I think that's basically the main difference. At a research university, you have to learn how to do independent research using your own logic, using argumentation, and come to a conclusion.
Okay, thank you, Pak Marik. Over to you, Mbak Tantri. Would you like to add something from this question?
Yeah, I think it's always based on what you're passionate about. So it's not always research university is always better than the applied sciences. I totally agree with you, Pamarik. So it's also about passion, which one you have your patience more. So if you're more passionate in research and you don't really know what you want to do in a next 5 years, and you want to broaden your options, then you can always go to a research university, and you might go to a PhD for the next level and so on. But if you already know what you want, I do know what I want. I want this. I want to become a nurse, and that's what I want. Then you can always go to a research to applied sciences university, or you want a legal you want to have a career in the legal field. So you already know that. So you can always go directly to applied sciences university. So yeah, totally agree with Pamarik. Thank you for that. I think that also will help the audiences, whether they want to go to applied sciences university or to the research university. Thank you, Mas Molly.
Thank you, Batantri. Over to you, Leanne.
Yeah, I think something else to remember is that certain fields or studies may only be available at a research university or at a University of Applied Sciences. So for example, if you want to do physiotherapy, then you'll be going to a University of Applied Sciences. But if you are going to be interested more in studies like philosophy, then you'll end up at a research university. So keep that in mind. And otherwise, I'd say, even though we tend to focus a little bit more on the practical and professional at the University of Applied Sciences, at the same time, you will have lots of opportunities for practical experience at a research university as well. Many programs now include either mandatory or optional internships and exchanges and extra honors programs or projects to work on to get more practical experience. So yeah, that's, I think, a few things to add.
Okay, thank you. Well, I do believe that all the speakers, you daily get in touch with the students more and more, especially these days, because now we do have like an online consultation, online platform. There's one question that in my mind, that could you please mention, and how do you select your applicants to get admitted into your university? Because these days Indonesian students is really have like a lot of interest with your institution, especially for Leiden. So Batantri, could you please explain to us, like, how do you select your applicants to get admitted into Red Belt University?
Okay, thank you, Mas Molly. So there are, of course, several stages, but I think one of the most important one is the interview part, because then the selection committee really get to see and to get in touch with how the person is motivated, how's the prior knowledge, because prior knowledge is an important thing. An important thing when you're applying for the next level, let's say for a master program. You have to have the same starting level, if not same, at least similar starting point. So we can be sure that you're not you won't get left behind during the study. So that's, I think, how we decide to admit our student. The interview, the previous knowledge, the grade. I think grades can always be compromised and be in a later consideration. So I think the most important part is the interview and the previous knowledge. Over to you, Mas Molly.
Okay, thank you, Batantri. And how about at Master University, Leanne?
So the admissions procedure, of course, differs per program. So keep in mind that if you have a program where it's an open application, then we in general welcome everybody who's eligible. So we will sometimes have optional matching procedures, which I would recommend students to always make use of, because it'll give you a bit more insight into what will be expected of you and if it would match with your expectations. If you're looking at more selective programs or numerous fixes programs, then keep in mind your personal motivation and ambition while applying for these programs. Because what we, of course, would like to see in students who choose the program at our university is why they decide to do this at Maastricht University, because of course for liberal arts and sciences, for example, there's different places in the Netherlands to study these programs, and we expect you to have a specific idea about the environment that we would provide, the kind of focus that you would bring into your studies, the kind of ambitions that you have. So indeed, then your motivation and following the interview will be the most important aspects. So just keep in mind that you really focus on what makes a program stand out for you at a certain institute.
Right, thank you, Leanne. But before I move to Pamarik, so numerous fixes is a deadline for the certain study program that has limitation of the students, or there is a quota for the students that is going to be admitted. And for your information as well, for the numerous fixes deadline is every 15th of January. So be sure that if your study program is numerous fixes, don't put it on the very last deadline. Please make sure again, and then please check on the university website. Okay, Pamarik, again with the same questions. How do you select your applicants to get admitted into Leiden University?
Yeah, I think I don't have much to add, actually. What has been said by Leanne and Tantri. I think for all research universities, the procedure is more or less the same. You have a first step, which is the administrative selection, which is quite clear cut. Do you fulfill the requirements, the basic requirements to apply for a program? And then, of course, the second part is then there will be a selection based on several parameters. And again, like Leanne said, it could be based on whether the program is selective or not, or whether it's open. There could be additional documents that could be asked. There could be a test. There could be an interview. But I guess, again, I have to stress the same what Leanne says. The most important definer, I think, is your motivation letter. So explain why you want to study, what drives you, what is your motivation to choose this program, and just choose the university, because that's where you can stand out from the rest. Because you are a bit in a competition with a lot of students that are applying for the same program. All of them have their bachelor degree, all of them have good grades. So why do you think we should accept you? And also, the grades are important in some cases if you apply for scholarships, because some of the scholarships are merit-based. But in terms of selection, we rather look at the whole package. The subjects that you have done during your bachelor, if you apply for master, because that really gives a more insight in whether you have the sufficient background to enter a certain program.
Okay, thank you so much, Pat. Regarding with the alumni, so once we finish our study in the Netherlands, for sure, the students would like to have like a really good career in the Netherlands. They want to start a really good career in the Netherlands, especially with the benefit of Zoetier visa as well. I think I'm coming to Leanne first. Is there any working opportunities in the Netherlands after the graduation, and how will university help the alumni to secure the job?
Yes, so almost all universities in the Netherlands will have career offices. So please feel free to make use of that during your studies as well. You can go there for different opportunities, for career advice, if you want to do a test to see if you fit certain fields or certain companies, if you want to have your CV checked, and a lot of study associations or universities will also have career fairs to get you in touch with companies in the region, or to give you a sense of what kind of careers students from your program or from your university have gone on to. As to working in the Netherlands, currently the job market is actually quite good because there's lots of vacancies. It really depends a little bit on the field that you want to go into, because there's different areas and regions within the Netherlands which will be a little bit more suited to certain careers. For example, here in Maastricht, we are located quite close to Brussels, so it could be interesting for you if you want to do something with diplomacy or international relations. But of course, Leiden and The Hague is also a hotspot for that. But at the same time, we have DSM, which is the largest chemical company in the Netherlands close by. So you could also look at biomedical or chemistry careers. And the same counts, for example, for Eindhoven or Delft, which is more technology focused. Rotterdam has its port for logistics. So really think closely about the field that you want to go into. And then you can see what opportunities there are within the Netherlands. And there's also a wide range of companies available. You can work at a startup, you can work at an international company, you can work for the government. So as long as you try to get an idea through internships or through side jobs or through other connections to get more of an idea of how you want to continue your career after your studies, there's lots of opportunities available within the Netherlands.
Okay, thank you so much, Leanne. For the Leiden University, especially for Pamarik, could you mention any interesting research that are currently ongoing in the university, Pak?
How much time do I have?
Oh, plenty, Pak. Last session.
Because
roll it, Pak.
Yeah, no, I will keep it short because yes, we all research universities. So all the faculties have graduate schools and institutes. So a lot of research is being done by all the research universities. But maybe I can focus more on the research that we do with Indonesia because it's it's an EHEF for Indonesian students. So we have 7 faculties, and every faculty is active in Indonesia on research and already for decades. So the medical faculty, of course, is as most medical faculties all over the world, is focusing on COVID-related research, amongst others. So the Janssen drug was developed in Leiden at the Bioscience Park, the biggest bioscience park in the Netherlands. But we also focus on immunology to also prevent future outbreaks of these kinds of pandemics. But we also do research in Indonesia on tuberculosis and diabetes. In the Faculty of Law, already also a long-standing cooperation with Indonesia, but mainly focusing on social legal studies. How does the law impact on the society? Of course, from the Faculty of Humanities, focusing on the cooperation on history, joint history, of course, but also to make Dutch sources available for Indonesian researchers. Also research on Islam studies. That has also been going on for a long time. Linguistics, specifically linguistics in Eastern Indonesian, especially languages that are feared to die out and has to be described. And we do excavations in Trinil in the field of archaeology, and so on and so on. So I think every university has a large menu of research cooperation with Indonesian counterparts, and that is going very strong. Although COVID made a dent, maybe in that respect, but it didn't really had much impact in the intention and in the eagerness to keep working together on these research areas.
Okay, thank you so much, Pamarik, for the explanation. I'm going back to Batandri from Red Dot University. Batandri, there's a question regarding about the exchange studies opportunities in Red Dot. Could you please explain about it? Is there any opportunity for Indonesian students who would like to have exchange program in Red Dot University?
Yes, this is one of my favorite topics, I think, because I've once joined the exchange students. That's how I got in touch with Radboud in the first place. So yes, there's plenty of opportunity to have an exchange student programs. Currently, I think the most ongoing one is between the medical faculty and several universities in Indonesia. I'm attached with the Pajajaran universities, so I know for sure that a lot of exchange program are going on at the current time. But of course, COVID is somehow it's more fun if it gets in the way. So for the time being, it's a bit suspended. But next year, hopefully, when things are more back to normal, then we can go on with the exchange student program. But yes, we have plenty of that opportunity. And it also comes with the scholarship. So as long as COVID agree to move a little bit out of the way, then hopefully next year it will be back on track.
Hopefully, of course, we cannot wait to have like our new normal life without any COVID situation and also COVID restriction. Okay, I do still invite to all the audience who watch us through our YouTube channel. Could you please put your questions on the comment or chat box? So one of my colleagues will transfer the questions to the screen. We still have one questions, of course, to I think this is for Leiden, for Pamarik, from Teresia Puji, Pak. So the question is, I have a plan to continue my master degree in Leiden University. Is it possible if I take law faculty, but her background is from the Bachelor of Economics?
Well, that's going to be a challenge because, as Ibu Tantri already mentioned, it should be linear.
Yeah.
So a master degree is actually a continuation of the knowledge that you have received during a bachelor. And if there's too much difference, it's quite difficult to enter a master program if it's not in line with your bachelor program. There are some exceptions for some disciplines, but with the law, and especially with the law programs that we offer, then I would probably have to say that it would be almost difficult, almost impossible to enter with the economics bachelor to a law degree at any university, unless it's not a law degree but a Master of Science degree. And that university is not in this talk show right now, but there's a university in the Netherlands that offer economics and law, which is a Master of Science degree. I'm not sure, but Lian maybe can add. I'm not sure whether that would be also possible in Maastricht. But in Leiden, it would be, to be honest, it would be quite difficult if it's not linear.
Okay, thank you so much, Pamarik. I think, Lian, would you like to add something? Could maybe your answer might help Teresia Puji regarding her intention to have a law degree, but her background is from the Bachelor of Economics.
Yeah, so it depends really, because of course, as Mike also mentioned, there are certain requirements to fulfill. Of course, if you have certain proof or if you have done certain courses, then you could always provide them to the Board of Admissions, and they can tell you if you either would need to prepare additionally by getting certain certificates or following certain courses, or if indeed you are eligible for exemption. But yeah, the further topics are removed from each other, the more difficult it will be. So unless you have a certain relatability within your bachelor's degree that would allow you to move on to different masters, it's not necessarily, it's going to be difficult to continue directly without needing to do any extra, anything extra.
Okay, thank you, Lian, for the addition. And of course, to all the audience and also for the Indonesian students who would like to apply to the Dutch higher education, so just please read the additional requirement as well on their university website, because some of the information might be too general, but if you jump into the website, you can find a very specific requirement that needs to be done. Okay, so I think one of my colleagues shared the website of every single university at the moment. You have University of Leiden, Maastricht University, and also Radboud University. Okay, next questions before we are going to have a closing statement. I think I'm going to Mbak Tantri, but could you please mention some of the majors that are well known for its competitiveness from Radboud University. Over to you, Mbak Tantri.
Thank you, Ms. Molly. I think, well, all faculty are well known. I have to say that. I don't think it's fair to just mention one faculty. I think all of our faculties are well known. We have seven faculties, and I think what has been the faculty that has been very much engaged with the Indonesian student is the Faculty of Medical Sciences, Faculty of Law. The art faculty, I think, no, Mas Molly, it's not fair to pick one. It's not fair. All of our faculties are competitive and they're all as good. But yeah, my background is medical sciences, so not that medical sciences is the best, but yeah, we're quite competitive. So we're well known, especially for our research collaboration with Indonesia, with Indonesian universities. We have also a lot of exchange program between the medical faculty in Radboud, the medical sciences faculty in Radboud with Indonesian universities. So yeah, but all faculties are well known, Mas Molly.
Of course, correct. And especially, I think I would like to add some information as well, because the Radboud University is participating on the Orange Loop Scholarship. So you might want to check it out, what it offers. Okay, thank you so much, Patandri, for the answer. I think I'm going to Pamarik for the first one. To give the closing statement and also to promote University of Leiden. But you have a time of 5 minutes, okay, to tell us and also to convince the audience regarding about University of Leiden. Over to you, Pamarik.
Yes, thank you. Am I okay? Well, all the information about Leiden, of course, can be found on the website. And I see Leiden as a traditional research university. We are the oldest university in the Netherlands. So I will say we are rooted in tradition, but we also innovated research university. So a lot of focus is also on innovation of research. And in terms of closing statement, I think this is more for the students. And I think it's also a little bit what I already stated last year. You have to choose the program that best fits you with a university that best suits you. And that's a kind of decision that has to be made by the student it's themselves. All the research in the universities in the Netherlands are good. So you don't have to doubt about any problem with quality. It's just that the research universities have different foci and different, of course, differentiation in programs that they offer. And based on that, you can make the choice. In your preparation, I would say preparation is 3/4 of the work. Preparation in terms of study the program that you would like to follow. Delve deep into the websites, into the programs, contact the program director or the program coordinator if you have questions, if something is not clear about whether your background is sufficient enough to apply for the course. Look into your own network or connect with the PPE. So the student association in the town that you would like to go. They have Facebooks and websites, and you'll probably find a student who is doing the same program that you are likely to apply for. And then you get first-hand information about what it's really like to study that particular program. And also try to connect with alumni. And if you can help with that, there's a large alumni association in Indonesia that's very active. Oh, it's getting thunder here.
I know, right?
So there's a large alumni network, and also if you would like to get in touch with Leiden alumni, we have our own Leiden Alumni Association in Indonesia, and we have a very active student association in Leiden, which is actually the oldest student association from Indonesia in the world. So that would be my statement. Just prepare and prepare as much as you can and make the right choice. And that could be Leiden, of course.
Thank you so much, Pamarik. Of course, Leiden. Over to you, Leanne. Do you have any closing statement also to promote your institution for this session?
Well, at Maastricht University, a few things to keep in mind that sets us apart from other research universities is the problem-based learning system. So it's a more student-centered education method where you will be more actively engaging with with your study field and with case studies. So it's on a smaller scale, and it requires a little bit more effort from students to actively present, actively research, and actively speak up and present. Another thing is that we have a lot of interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary programs that also counts for many other universities. So if indeed you want to combine certain topics like economics and law, or economics and data science, or law and the medical field, then be sure to look for those options as well, because within the Netherlands and at our university, there's lots of different options to combine different topics. And if you are not sure what you want to specialize in yet, or if you have multiple interests that you would like to explore, then there's lots of options for that as well in the Netherlands and also at our university. Also definitely consider the kinds of cities that we have universities at in the Netherlands. So of course there's the big cities like Amsterdam and Utrecht, but smaller cities like Leiden, Nijmegen, Maastricht that are also in different parts of the Netherlands are have a very different atmosphere. And pretty much everywhere in the Netherlands it's very international. We are located very close to the borders of Germany and Belgium. So if you have any interest in institutions or exploring those regions, it's very easy from over here to get there. And the Netherlands as a whole is very internationally focused and minded. So everybody speaks English quite, very well. You are, of course, welcome to learn Dutch, but for most cases, it won't be necessary. So you will definitely find a very international and welcoming environment. And we hope, of course, that the Netherlands will become sort of your home away from home. And yeah, because we have been in a pandemic, there's lots of opportunities to also discover our universities online. So we have online open days, we have online experience days, or other faculty or program specific events that can take place online. So definitely check those out as well if you have certain programs, studies, or universities in mind. And we hope to welcome you anytime soon.
Thank you so much, Lian. Okay, over to you, Mbak Kandri. Could you please give us the closing statement and also promote your institution?
Thank you, Mas Wali. So, hi, everyone. I hope this session allows you to dive a little deeper about studying in the Netherlands in several research university, and provides you with the information that you need about the research universities and Radboud University in particular. Just in case you weren't here from the very beginning, or you didn't get the chance to follow the seminar from the start, so you can always go to www.ru.nl/English for more information. We have many programs in bachelor stage or in master stage. In the bachelor program, we have from biology, chemistry, psychology, and in the master programs, I think we have one of the most booming now is the artificial intelligence study, and then also biomedical sciences, psychology, a lot of majors. So you can always go to the website and see which one suits you the most, and see about the application procedure, the admission requirements, and etc. There are clear guidance about where to go, what to click in the website. You can also have information about the scholarship that we provide. I think we have a lot of scholarship for Indonesian students, from OTS, the Orange Tulip Scholarship, to the Radboud Scholarship. So we have a lot. You can always try which one suits you the best. There are also information in your own language. So there's definitely an information in Bahasa, I know that for sure. Or you can always send an email to study/information@ru.nl or WhatsApp. You can always WhatsApp the admission officer at 31625-319096. To close, I hope you will get to experience what I experienced, a high quality education in a beautiful city, catered by, and I have to say this, everyone works by their heart, so it's a personal touch. But please don't take my words on it. Prove it yourself. I'll see you in Ragut. Thank you, Mas Noli.
Thank you so much, Mbak Tantri, and all the speakers that joined with us this afternoon. So it's really lovely to see you, and hopefully we can see each other in person. Yeah. And then to wrap up this session, of course, for all the Indonesian students who would like to apply to the Netherlands higher education, please read all the information through their website, and also you still have a chance to ask the questions through the virtual booth as well. And then last thing that I really want to recommend that please do not put it on the very last deadline, because this is the perfect timing that if you would like to apply to the university, because they're open. Okay, the deadline is still all the way up until April or May. Except for the numerous fixes study program, the deadline is every 15th of January. Please read carefully all the requirements on every study program, because some of study programs might have the additional documents. So please be mind that you read carefully on university website. Okay, so I think we are at the end of the session for this talk show. My name is Molly. I'm signing off, and of course, you still can have a chat through the virtual booth on every institution. Thank you so much for joining with us, and have a lovely weekend. I know it's a bit rain, not a bit rain, but it's heavy rain outside. Please stay dry and also stay well. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you. Thank you, Tantri. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Molly. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for Tantri, Lian, and Mari.
Sorry.